Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the OCBC Arena in the Singapore Sports Hub for Finals Sunday in the 2021 Singapore Sports Hub Badminton National Open Championships. And we start, as we did yesterday, in the semi-finals day with the mixed doubles action. The mixed doubles final between Andy Kwak and Grace Chua, who came through in a titanic tussle against the #1 seed yesterday, getting the better of Danny Krishnanta and Lim Ming Hui. 21-17 in the third. The number 3 seeds taking on the number 2 seeds of Terry He and Elaine Chua, who came through a relatively straightforward battle yesterday, winning 19-13 against Lai Jingneng and Jing Chong Mok. It is Andy and Grace in the blue and Terry and Elaine in the yellow and black. And this is one of 5 finals we'll be bringing you live on the I Love Badminton Facebook page this afternoon. This will be followed, this mixed doubles final, by the women's doubles, where Bernice Lim and Lim Ming Hui, the #1 seeds, take on the unseeded Sabrina Lee and Alexis Lee, followed by the men's singles, Indonesia's Vega Nwanda up against the defending champion and #2 seed Singapore's Jason Tay. Then the men's doubles, Terry He, who is seeing in action here. He's got 2 games on his agenda today because he also plays in the men's doubles final alongside his partner, the #1 seeds, He and Lo Kian Hian, and they'll take on the unseeded Indonesians Albert Saputra and Bimo Adi Prakoso. And then we wrap things up with what will be a mouth-watering women's singles. As 1 plays 2, #1 seed against #2. Jaslyn Hui, who played an epic match yesterday to get the better of Sindra Khan. She takes on Grace Chua, who, of course, we're seeing here in action today. So Grace has a chance to lift 2 titles. She starts here in the mixed doubles and then concludes our programme on this final Sunday in the women's singles. So 5 massive matches for you. We'll have the presentation ceremonies as well. But we start with the mixed doubles. Our chair umpire, Miss Lydia Lowe, and our service judge is Benjamin Yeo. It looks like it will be the #2 seeds to serve first. I'm just checking the shuttlecock. It will in fact be Grace and Andy. Going back and forth. No, it will be. I was correct the first time. Elaine Chua to get us underway. It's the mixed doubles final on Final Sunday at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021. If you've got a couple of hours spare this afternoon, just sit back and enjoy some top-class badminton action. Massive respect to the Singapore Badminton Association, who've organised and run this event so brilliantly. All COVID-safe distancing measures, of course, being followed as a rip-snorting rally gets us underway, put away emphatically by Terry He. First blood to the #2 seeds. Elaine Chua already having a change of shuttlecock after just 1 point. Grace Chua and Andy Kwak came through in 3 games against the #1 seed yesterday, and they lost the first game in that match. Despite leading through most of that first game, they lost it 21-18 and then won the final 2 games 19-17. And they're off the mark, the #3 seeds, with that smash from Andy Kwak. So serve back with Grace Chua. And a very easy service return put away. That one called out. So 4-2 in front. Terry and Elaine. Elaine on serve. Cute service return there from Andy Kwak. Reduces their ears to 1 again. Course for Terry and Grace. It's going to be the start of a very long afternoon. This can either of them become the only players to win 2 titles in 2021. There's a couple of defending champions in action. Jason Tay and Terry will defend his men's doubles title alongside Lo Kian Hian in our 4th game due on court. Nice pick-up from Terry. Nice work. Oh, just getting in each other's way there, Andy and Grace, but they've recovered okay, and they end up winning the point. There was a question being asked of the umpire about that, whether there was maybe contact from 2 players on that shot. Just asking the question is Elaine Chua. But our chair umpire, Lydia Lowe, unmoved by the protestations. That was a very intelligent lead from Andy Kwek as it sails long, and just like that, we're tied at 5 apiece. Get the feeling we could be going the distance here already, only 10 points in. Lydia just having a conversation with the servers. Great touch Andy Kwek has there. Straight into the body of Terry, who reacts very well. Exquisite rally this, and through the legs effort from Terry He, and Grace Chua did very well to not be distracted by the extravagance of that shot, to follow through and finish it off. So for the first time in the match, there's a lead for Andy Kwek and Grace Chua after a spectacular through the legs effort from Terry He. It ends up in vain. Oh, a nice put away from Elaine Chua there. 6 each. Very short, sharp points at the moment, unlike some of the marathon rallies we were seeing in Andy Kwek and Grace Chua's match yesterday against the #1 seeds, Danny Krishnanta and Lim Ming Hui. The service returning at the moment really is top class. And of course, we're delighted so many of you have been watching on Facebook. Ashraf Azmi, Rao Jara and Gerald Ong are all with us. Great to have you with us, guys. Do let us know who you're supporting. Such a shame we can't have spectators in the OCBC arena, but that's why we're bringing you this very top quality stream to enjoy the action. And we're getting a titanic tussle in this first game. Who will take the lead at the 11-point turn? Pick up well by Andy. It was going long. He was going wide as well. I think he should have left that. Andy Kwek with a rare misjudgment, and he knows it as well. That was going to sail wide. And under pressure, he himself sent the shot he chose to make wide of the right-hand tram line. 9-all though. No one able to establish dominance early. This is a game that's going to, I think, open up after they take the turn at 11 points. Oh, very nearly got there, Grace, but not quite. Terry deceptive with his shot making. And it's Terry He and Elaine Chua who lead by 1 in the yellow and black. If you're just joining us, welcome to the final Sunday of the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021, as an emphatic smash from Elaine Chua for the first time since early on in the game gives the #2 seeds a 2-point lead, and they'll take it at the turn. They've raced through the first 20 points in a little over 6 minutes. Let us know who you're supporting on the Facebook comment section. Give us a like, a share and a follow and a comment, whether you're watching on I Love Badminton or One Play Sports. Oh. Called long, that serve. Wasn't much in it. Oh, went for the delicate touch. Didn't work out for Elaine Chua, and it's 11-all. Couple of mistakes early on after the short break from He and Chua. Oh, lovely power play from Andy Kwek. Given another chance as Elaine Chua sending it high, almost challenging Andy Kwek to try and put it away. There was a brief stumble there from Andy Kwek. He recovered really well. Good reactions from Grace. Lovely point 1. Best point of the game so far, and it goes the way of Kwek and Chua, who've recovered from trailing by 2 at the turn to now leading by 1. a deft touch from Andy Quek. Out that one goes, and we're tied once more. From very early on in this match, it's had the feel of a game that may well go the distance. And certainly they're matching each other blow for blow in the early exchanges here. Just like that, he and Chua. Open up by 2. Good attacking body shot from Terry He. Andy Quek unable to adjust on that occasion. Good put away. They were stranded in the middle of the court that time, Andy and Grace, and just like that they've pulled away for the biggest lead of the match so far, 16-12. So the number 2 seeds in pole position to take out game number 1 in this mixed doubles final at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021. Grace Chua and Terry He, of course, in action in other finals later on. Terry 4th on court in the men's doubles. The number 1 seed alongside Loh Kian Hian will take on the unseeded Indonesians Albert Saputra and Bimowadi Prakoso. And Grace Chua will round off our final Sunday against Jaslyn Hui. Caught them cold with that serve there. 18-13, and it's looking like he and Chua are going to take out this first game now. Great power. Grace Chua has no answers to the aggression of Terry He. And the number 2 seeds now starting to go through their gears. We'll also be bringing you the presentation ceremonies after each match. Mr. Lawrence Liao, the president of the Singapore Badminton Association, will be presenting the prizes for this. We'll bring you that ceremony live at the conclusion of the final. Good put away from Grace Chua there. She was given a couple of opportunities and gobbled up the second one. But they've still got a mountain to climb. 2 points away are He and Chua for taking out the first game. So they're going to need to go on a service point run here. They'll try and do that on the Andy Quek serve. His serving has been useful to this point, but he needs to really try and ensure they have a chance off the service return, and that's exactly what he did there. That service return from Elaine Chua sails long. So that's 1 point of what surely needs to be at least 3 or 4 to keep themselves competitive in this first game. And they weren't going to get it that way. It was just a matter of time before Terry He put that away. So 5 game points for Terry He and Elaine Chua in the first game. And they'll only need 1. Terry He dispatches that off their own serving to give the number 2 seeds, Terry He and Elaine Chua, the first game against Andy Quek and Grace Chua. The number 2 seeds leading the number 3 seeds by 1 game to love. Just a reminder about those defending champions today. Jason Tay, obviously. Terry He is a defending champion in the men's doubles alongside Loh Kian Hian. And there'll be a defending champion in the women's singles as well. Really looking forward to that. Arguably, that's the game, I think, that may give us the most thrills and spills, because Jaslyn Hui was out on her feet yesterday when she came through against Insira Khan. important they make a strong start here. Andy and Grace, and they don't make it like that. Smiles all round with the lane chewer. Yes, talking about those defending champions in the women's singles, we actually have a repeat of last year's final, which adds a little bit of extra spice. Grace will be looking for revenge there, and at the moment it's looking like that's going to be her best shot at a title this year, because they've gone behind early here in the second game, having hung very tough at the start of the first. Oh, what a delightful touch that was from Andy Queck. Yes. Jaslyn beating Grace Chua 16-8 last year. So it'll be fascinating to see if Grace, who handled her 2 matches yesterday really well, she had a very easy game against Megan Lee to book her final slot. Jaslyn looked out on her feet, so fitness could come into play. Grace is having a tough time here, though, with Andy Queck. Oh, the neck cord. Not working out for the number 3 seeds on that occasion. A reminder throughout the course of the afternoon, let us know who you're supporting in the comments section. Of the Singapore Badminton Association. I Love Badminton is the Facebook page, and we all love badminton here today. That was an uncharacteristic poor effort from Terry He. And they've let Andy and Grace come back into this. And remember, Andy and Grace lost the first game against the number 1 seed yesterday, Chris Nanta and Lim Ming Hui. They lost that 21-18, and then won the next two 21-18, 21-17. So if they can just somehow find a way of winning this second game, it becomes a very different proposition. That one goes wide. Oh, there was some confusion there. They hesitated, and they've set up a dolly for Elaine Chua, who doesn't miss those opportunities. It's 6-3. This match could run away from them here before they get to the turn at 11 points. Lovely finish again. Elaine Chua has played some wonderful winners here. To change the shuttlecock. Wonderful to see top-class sport returning slowly to Singapore, and the Singapore Badminton Association at the forefront of being arguably, I'm just trying to recall if there's any other national championships that have taken place in the last 12 months. Of course, it was just 30 months ago that they managed to hold the 2020 championships in January, of course, before we had the disruption of COVID-19. It'd be wonderful to start seeing some of our international shuttlers on the world stage again. SEA Games year, of course. It remains to be seen what happens to the SEA Games in Hanoi, but Singapore will no doubt send a strong team as that service return goes way long. Andy Queck and Grace Chua just hanging tough here. Big 5 points coming up. If they can win 3 of the next 5, they'll still be in this. Well positioned shot there. Andy Queck, though, has sent that one wide. Into the net it goes from Elaine Chua. She's been putting those away for the most part to this point. So I mentioned that little mini battle they have to win over 5 points. It's currently 1-1 since we flagged that up. So a big service point coming up here off the Andy Queck serve. And he just gets a little bit confused after that service return, so initiative back in the hands of the number 2 seeds, and that's just dropped wide as well. It was a very powerful shot from Terry He. Andy Queck unable to respond, and well, they're going to lose this mini battle in the best of 5, and it may well be the death knell for their chances in the match. Got to try and put a string of points together on their own serve. A nice change of pace from Terry He. Delicate touch from Elaine. The 2 men now going to exchange blows. That was just Hit absolutely perfectly by Terry He. And Grace was bamboozled. And just like that, it's a turn at 11-6. Now, he turned in the last game. Andy Quek and Grace Chua came out and won the first 2 points. After that turn. They need to do that here, otherwise this final is going to race away from them. Good adjustment, Andy Quek. Terry He goes aggressive. Wonderful rally this. They've gone high. Chance for Elaine to put it away. Andy Quek forces the mistake. So I really should be winning this point. They really should be winning this point, and they do. Well, they've managed to do the first 2 points after the turn, which was a bare minimum. Now they've got to try and turn 3 into 4. 3 first. Andy Quek goes high. Terry He. Oh, very delicate shot making. Chance for Grace to put it away. Elaine gets it back up. Oh, wonderful shot from Elaine. Andy Quek did really well to get to that. And Terry He, pick up from Andy Quek. Look at this for a rally. Big point this coming up here. Big point. If Grace and Andy can take it out, they're really back in this. Brilliant pickup from Terry. Oh, they got in each other's way again. That's not the first time that's happened. And frustration, I'm sure, from Andy Quek there after such strong work in that point. I don't know whether a string went there, but an immediate change of racket. But the damage is done. The best point of the game so far, and it's gone to the number 2 seeds who lead 1 love and 12-8. 9 away from the title. Oh, wonderful from Terry He. I think the chance might have gone with the loss of that rally for Andy and Grace. And that one drops down inside. And now the gap is again 6, and this is around about where they really pulled away in the first game. It looks like it's going to be a repeat performance here. Terry unable to guide that one back in. Well, they simply have to string 4 or 5 points together on serve here, and they may only get a couple more opportunities to do that. So this is important. Andy Quek on serve. Chance for Andy to put away his own serve now, and he does brilliantly into the body of Elaine Chua, who can't get the elevation required. Oh, they've fought hard here, but it's not going to be enough. 6 points away now. Just hanging tough, now within 3. This is where they need to get those 3 or 4 service points realistically. Chance for Grace. Good reactions from Terry. Andy now sends it deep. Look at Terry's aggression though, and just going wide from Grace Chua. That would have been some miraculous. Would have been a miraculous get if she could have just helped that to sail in. I think this is it now. The 3 points on their own serve need to come here. Nice backhand from Andy Queck. Elaine gets plenty of height on that. Another chance for Andy to put it away. Good reactions from Terry. Another big rally. They've lost all the big points so far, the number 3 seeds. This is one they desperately need to win. Picked up by Grace, but it's going to sail long. And with that point, may well have gone their chances to stay in this final in the mixed doubles at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021. Grace Chua now. They cannot allow Elaine and Terry to win a point on their own serve now. It's simple as that for Andy Queck and Grace Chua. Nice backhand from Terry He. And they force the mistake when they've got a couple of points to play with, but they're staying competitive in this second game. But they must produce a string of points on their own serve, and that responsibility now falls onto the serve of Grace Chua. That's very long. Good pick up from Andy Queck. Nice delicate touch followed by a finish. Wonderful dive from Terry here. I think that was going wide. Why did she play it? And now Andy Queck's goes long. It's a couple of real borderline, in the heat of the moment, decisions that maybe have cost Andy Queck and Grace Chua. So difficult, and for the players, of course, so easy for us watching at home and in the commentary position to critique it. But in the heat of battle, you can completely understand why Grace played at it, but it did look like it might sail wide. One of our brilliant team of volunteers and officials just dampening down the court as the sweat starts to flow. If you're just joining us, warm welcome to this I Love Badminton and One Play Sports coverage of the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021. We're watching what could be the concluding stages of the mixed doubles final. The men's doubles final involving Terry He will be later. The women's doubles follows immediately after these. Bernice Lim and Lim Min Hui, who was a beaten number 1 seed in the mixed doubles semi-final yesterday, take on Sabrina and Alexis Lee, the 2 17-year-olds unseeded. Then the men's singles in the middle of the card, Vega Nwanda and Jason Tay, the defending champion Jason Tay. Then that men's doubles I mentioned, followed by maybe the highlight of many people's day, number 1 and 2 seeds, meeting in the women's final for the 2nd consecutive year, Jaslyn Hoy, who somehow got through against Saria Khan yesterday, 24-22 in the 3rd, taking on Grace Chua, who of course we're seeing in action here. And we're seeing Grace Chua in action as they finally string a couple of points together to put themselves in a position to maybe make a run late in this second game. It's certainly tight, big point on the way, and it's dispatched nonchalantly by Terry He to put He and Chua 2 points away now from victory. That's a fault there. So they're within 2 again. They've managed a couple of straight points on their own serve. They simply have to get 2 now. They get one of them. So all of a sudden it's 19-18. They're within 1. And this is the closest they've been to He and Chua since early in this second game. Huge point now on the Grace Chua serve. Terry He with the return, and the service fault is absolutely criminal at this stage, and it throws up 2 match points for Terry He and Elaine Chua. Can they save 1? Tempting Andy Quick to go for the big shot. Oh, the net cord, and she reacted brilliantly, Elaine Chua. The point goes on, still match point. Andy Quick puts that smash away brilliantly. Another sensational point. One match point is saved. But they'll have to do it all again now. Just composing themselves here. The serve is going to be crucial. The last time they had the shuttlecock in hand, Grace Chua service faulted. Andy Quick simply must not allow them to get an easy kill on the service return here. Still match point, he and Chua. And it's a service fault, would you believe it? 2 straight service faults, and that is the match. 21-15, 21-19, and Terry He and Elaine Chua, the number 2 seeds, are the mixed doubles champions at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021. Andy Quick and Grace Chua will be ruining some individual points that may well have turned it round there. And, oh well, congratulations to the champions. A great start. Coming up next is the women's doubles. Bernie Slim and Lim Ming Hui, the number 1 seeds, against Sabrina Lee and Alexis Lee. But for now, we can go to Kang Niang, who is our master of ceremonies, for the prize presentation ceremony that will follow. So welcome back to the bird's eye view of Court number 1 here at the OCBC Arena. The presentation ceremony about to get underway. Here's Kang Liang. So making the presentation ceremony to our champions and our runners-up. Champions Terry He and Elaine Chua. Runners-up Andy Kwek and Grace Chua. Is Mr. Lawrence Liu, the president of the Singapore Badminton Association.
Andy Kwek, Grace Chua. And the champion of Singapore National Open Championship 2021, Terry He and Elaine Chua.
So there are champions, Terry He and Elaine Chua, winning the final 21-15, 21-19, and they'll get the trophy from the president of the Singapore Badminton Association, Mr. Lawrence Liu. And in case you can't pick up Kang Liang's audio, he's quite rightly thanking the title sponsors at the Singapore Sports Hub, as well as all our other associated partners. Delighted to say we'll be joined by another VIP later on in Mr. Mahendra Kapoor, the Sunlight Sports top man, who are the distributors for Li-Ning Sportswear in Singapore. He'll be making the presentation of our next final, which is Bernice Lim and Lim Minghui against Sabrina and Alexis Lee, two 17-year-olds with a big test against the #1 seeds in the women's doubles. That's next right here on One Play Sports and I Love Badminton. So welcome back live after the presentation ceremony was concluded, awarding the mixed doubles title to Terry He and Elaine Chua. Time for the women's doubles final. It's the two Lees, Alexis and Sabrina, against #1 seeds Lim Minghui and Bernice Lim. Big game this for Lim Minghui. Disappointed to lose in the semi-finals of the mixed doubles yesterday. Chance to take out the title here as the players begin their knock-up, and we'll be back with the action shortly. So big test for the two 17-year-olds. There is Lim Ming-hui, one of the double anchors, or doubles anchors of the national team of Singapore. Her partner here, Bernice Lim, they were very impressive yesterday in winning 21-14, 21-13 against the unseeded Megan Lee and Eun Yi-shing. And they were playing within themselves, you felt there yesterday. As for Alexis and Sabrina, well, as a young pairing, they of course only 17, will come on a stack for their appearance here as we get a look at our umpire, Patrick Leong. Service judge here is Sabi Yi. But they will start the overwhelming favourites here. The #1 seeds, of that there is absolutely no doubt. So nearest to us in the blue, Bernice Lim and Lim Ming-hui. And on the far side in the red, Sabrina and Alexis Lee. It'll be the unseeded pair to serve. Lovell, first game. Women's doubles final in the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships of 2021. Great reactions to Lim Ming-hui. Managed to pick up that very late and takes out the point. Bernice Lim on serve. And a botched service return by Sabrina Lee. Make that two botched service returns from the two Lees, and Bernice and Lim Ming-hui having control here early. Lim Ming-hui with that height, giving her a huge advantage, but she went for placement rather than power there, and it went awry off the racket. So Alexis and Sabrina off the mark here. Already getting an indication that they face a very tough task here. Great to see more of you watching on the I Love Badminton and One Play Sports Facebook pages. Pasang Jepon with us, Miss Yang Yang and Joseph Sung. Wilson Chu obviously making some wonderful comments about the way this tournament's been organised by the Singapore Badminton Association. They deserve huge credit for the way this tournament's been run, as that one drops wide from Bernice Lim. Gets Sabrina and Alexis Lee a touch closer. Women's doubles pairing like this that has someone of the height of Lim Ming-hui on it, huge advantage against two relatively short players who've probably still got growing to do, only 17, Sabrina and Alexis. Seven-two. It's a very dominant early lead here. Difficult to see what they can change. Mentioned yesterday in that semi-final, shots like that from Bernice Lim really helped the Lim and Lim Ming-hui partnership comfortably dispatch Megan Lee, another youngster only 16 years of age, and Eun Yi-shing 14 and 13, and in truth it could have been even more emphatic, and it looks like this one is going to be even more emphatic. Big occasion for Sabrina and Alexis, but they've got to try and find a path to pick up some points, whether it's trying to engage in slightly longer rallies or maybe isolate Lim Min Qui's power game out of the equation. They need to really do something. Bernice and Lim Min Qui 14 and 13 yesterday. They beat Shi Bin Tan and Shan Fei, or Faith Go, 16 and 11 previously. You contrast that with the pathway to the final for Alexis and Sabrina. Well, they won 15 and 13 yesterday, and 16 and 14 in the quarterfinals against Jennifer Wu and Francine Rowe. So they haven't dropped a game yet, but they're 8 points adrift here in the first game of this final. Sabrina on the right and Alexis on the left. A reminder, after this game, we move on to the men's singles final. It'll be the highlight for many. The men's and women's singles finals really do throw up some mouth-watering prospects. The women's a repeat of last year's, Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chur, who've just seen beaten in the mixed doubles. And of course, in the men's next, it'll be Vega Nwanda of Indonesia and Jason Tay, the defending champion, who we featured on One Play Sports and Isle of Badminton in an in-depth interview earlier in the week. If you get a chance to watch that, please do. Well, I'm not entirely sure what happened. I think the shuttlecock got stuck in the racket. That'd be a change of racket required now. Nothing going right for Alexis and Sabrina. Shuttlecock going right through the middle of the racket. Oh, she's taken the scissors out. To that racket now and goes for a fresh one. This is more like it. These longer rallies will probably suit Alexis and Sabrina a little bit more, and there they get their reward. If they can just avoid going high to mid-court and allowing Lim Min Qui to almost pick her placement on the court with their power game, they could still battle back into this and maybe make it more competitive in the second game. These long rallies are where their chances lie, and there's another one. 2 points on the spin for the first time in the match so far. And they'll go for a change of shuttlecock, but they've found a way on the Sabrina Lee serve to pick up points. Two 17-year-olds here. Battling hard. Another long rally. This is where they can potentially get competitive. 17, another thing of element. If that's dropped in, wonderful shot, brilliant placement. And they've won 3 points on the bounce, now 13-6. Well, this is more like it. If they can just avoid the quick putaways by the #1 seeds, they can still get competitive, although of course they have to eliminate those kind of basic service errors as well. Kind of goes without saying. Well, that little flurry. For now has come to an end. It's given the scoreline in this first game a little bit of a more respectable slant, and that one's dropped out. That was good judgment from Bernice Lim. It didn't miss by much in the end. To request, I think, to tie the shoelaces up from Alexis Lee. Lim Min Qui on serve. Goes deep on the serve. Back to Bernice. Lim Min Qui. Thought she might have opted for power there. Gets up low. On the backhand flick. Great work from the wrist of Lim Min Qui in this rally, as the shuttlecock now seems to be being played exclusively towards Bernice. There was some confusion there, but they recovered well, and Lim Min Qui, with a very deft touch, puts that away to put them to within 4 points of taking out the first game here live on I Love Badminton and One Play Sports. It's the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021 already. Number 2 seeds Terry He and Elaine Chua have taken out the mixed doubles title. It's 21-15, 21-19, and here the number 1 seeds in the women's doubles, Bernice Lim and Lim Ming Hui, against the unseeded youngsters Sabrina Lee and Alexis Lee, are in absolute command. That hit the racket of Lim Ming Hui, so that'll be a point to Alexis and Sabrina. Well, last time they had the shuttlecock in hand, they picked up 3 points on the bounce. With a view to maybe being more competitive in the second game, what can they do on their own serve here? Lovely reactions, beautiful reactions from the two Lees. Both of them looking very strong in this point, but then it goes into the net. They work so hard to negate the service return and almost take control of the point. It was essentially an unforced error. That hands the serve back over to Bernice Lim. Just got to try and avoid allowing Lim Ming Hui aerial shots. As you saw there, Bernice Lim might be the player they can try and target in the air. The two Lees taking on here the two Lims. Lovely reaction from Bernice Lim. Goes up high, Lim Ming Hui. Deft touch from Alexis. Now through to the middle of the court. Chance for a put away here, and again it goes into the net. Oh, that was a brilliant shot from Bernice Lim. Well watched by Sabrina. And again, that's the third straight point that goes straight into the net. You just can't afford to give points to the number 1 seeds like that. And the Lims take out the first game against the Lees by 21 points to 8. And that was in very quick time as well. So it's been routine so far for the number 1 seeds. Lim Ming Hui is probably fuming that she wasn't in the mixed doubles final that just took place. That would have given the organisers a scheduling headache, bearing in mind already Terry He, the mixed doubles champion, has his men's doubles final to come, and of course Grace Chua, beaten in that mixed doubles final, has the final of the women's singles to come at the end of the day. Alexis and Sabrina show glimpses of what they're capable in that game that's just concluded, but they've got to try and find a bit more consistency and eliminate some basic errors, which essentially gave that score line in the first game a very lopsided look. At 17, of course, you can be pretty much assured their best badminton is still to come in their young careers. And what this national championship has done is show that despite of all the interrupted preparations and the training gaps that the players obviously suffered during circuit breaker, as things have got back to normal, and levels are rising again quickly. So Lims 1, Lees 0 at the start of the second game. It will be Bernice to serve. Really good service return. Was looking like it might be dropping wide, but Bernice was taking no chances. There's Sabrina. Alexis, Lim Ming Hui back on the Alexis backhand. Lim Ming Hui and Alexis exchanging shots, and that one goes wide. Important they didn't get too far behind early. Still work to do, but a chance to maybe establish even a mini lead in this second game to give themselves some confidence that they can salvage something here. Oh, miscue off the service return from Sabrina. Sends a serve back to Lim Ming Hui. Into the net from Bernice. So this is what they needed to do, keep this tight. Nice smile from Bernice. No cause for alarm just yet amongst the two Lims. backhand. Oh, Lim Min Hui, wonderful reactions. And again from Bernie Slim. They're testing the limbs here of the two Lees. Very tasty point this. They have to win these long rallies. Alexis and Sabrina simply have to win them. And they do win that one. The backhand from Bernie Slim into the net. And for the first time in the match, Alexis and Sabrina take a lead in a game. It's only 3-2, but psychologically they'll grow in confidence, you'd hope, as this game progresses. Another long point developing here. And that's another fine effort. But that time Sabrina unable to react to Bernie Slim's kill shot cross court. Up in the air from Sabrina. Alexis back to Lim Min Hui. The four players using the court well, but Bernie Slim's laser-like precision gets the Lims back on top in game number 2. 4-3 it is. Bernie Slim on serve. Off the net and over it goes. They apologise for the good fortune, but they all count just the same. And having led mere seconds ago, they now trail by 2. First time they trailed by 2 in the game, and this is where it got away from them in the first. These points before the turn, points 8 to 15, they were very weak on. Lim Min Hui with the error though, into the net. Alexis Lee on serve. Need to try and build a long rally. A wonderful shot that from Alexis Lee. That shot of the day. The delicate touch to get that up and over. Hairpin stuff from Alexis Lee. Wonderful stuff. And the service return fault from Bernie Slim, and they're back in front, Alexis and Sabrina in the second. Can they get the number 1 seeds rattled here? Certainly more competitive. I mean, they played 11 points in this game, and they're only 2 points shy of their entire total in the first game, and they're really taking it to them here in these long rallies. That time, though, Bernie Slim just too cute for them, and it's 6-all. Miscue from Alexis, and you just fear this is where it might get away from them here. Just know on the Lim Min Hui serve they're capable of putting a string of points together, and they do look, the number 1 seeds, to be playing well within themselves here. Bernie Slim, 3 attempts at putting this point away, can't do it. We'll get a 4th now, and she'll win it this time. Alexis only able to send that into the net. 8-6. They've had success, Alexis and Sabrina, when they've tried to mix it up. When they've consistently gone to the same player shot after shot. Hasn't worked out for them. And they trail by 3 points now for the first time in this second game. Lim Min Hui serve is the one that's capable of doing the damage. Goes very deep there, and it sets up Bernie Slim for the aerial. Nice reply from Sabrina. Crucial before the turn at 11 points. They are within just a couple. I think anything more than a couple, and the game could get away from them very quickly in the second. Lim Min Hui, of course, part of the mixed doubles team yesterday with Danny Krishnanta, that won the first game against Andy Kwek and Grace Chur, but still went out, so she'll be taking nothing for granted. Into the net from Bernice, and they've got back to within one. Just making this second game interesting now, aren't they, Alexis and Sabrina? Credit to them. They took a pasting in that first game, 21-8, but they've not let it get to them. A sign of very good and strong temperament, which bodes well for the future. One of the officials just coming on to mop up some moisture. Into the net from Sabrina. And I think psychologically they really do need this next point. If Bernie Slim can take this point on serve, a 3-point gap at the turn, I think not insurmountable, but will give them a mountain to climb. And that's going to be the situation. Just been too good, in all fairness. Alexis and Sabrina have been stronger in the second game, having been blown off the court in the first. But they'll trail by 3 as the players take a couple of minutes to gather themselves before they get back to court. But look at Alexis and Sabrina continuing to chat, trying to work on ways of whether they can turn this game round in their favour. Understandably, the #1 seeds are in control, very keen to get out there and straight back on with it. Are Bernie Slim and Lim Min Hui. Lim's leading Lees, 1-love and 11-8. Up next, remember, the men's singles final. Indonesia against Singapore. Vega Niwanda of Indonesia against Jason Tay. Jason Tay, very impressive yesterday, beating #3 seed Lee Wei Hong 12-10. And Vega Niwanda equally as impressive in straight games in his semi-final. Need these next couple of points to the Lees, and they're not going to get it. Lim Min Hui, when she's dollied up those in mid-court, invariably they'll be put straight onto that tee without a sniff of getting a racket to the shuttlecock. Great reactions from Bernie Slim on that point. And into the net it goes from Sabrina, and they've won the first 2 points after the turn, and surely no way back for Alexis and Sabrina now. They've acquitted themselves well here for two youngsters, inexperienced in contrast to their #1 seeded and national team player opponents, but just at the moment seemingly a little bit short of what's required to trouble the girls at the top. Even if they were to go on to lose this, though, runners-up in the national championships at the age of 17 is nothing to be sniffed at. We have Kang Yang standing by for the prize ceremony, should it be required after the second game, as that goes wide from Sabrina. And they're now just 7 points from the title. Mr. Ng Yok Weng, the Vice President and Tournament Committee Chairman of the Singapore Badminton Association, will be presenting the prizes for this final. I'm reliably informed. Lim Min Hui, look at the power again. Too much for Alexis Lee. And she's barely broken sweat, Lim Min Hui. She'll be furious, I'm sure, that as part of the #1 pairing in the seeds for the mixed double, she wasn't in that final that was taken out by the #2 seeds, Terry He and Elaine Chua, earlier on this afternoon. As Alexis and Sabrina reach double digits, psychologically that's something of an achievement. But they're going to have to find 5 points off their own serve. I just can't see it. Only chance is trying to engage Bernice and Lim Min Hui in long rallies and maybe try and get them to go for ambitious shots that could have a high risk potential. Like that one. That's what they need to do. Try and get these rallies over 6, 7, 8 shots, and then maybe take advantage of some complacency from Bernie Slim and Lim Min Hui, and try and kill the point too quickly and make a mistake, as has happened there. Service error, though, at this stage, absolutely criminal. And with Bernice on serve, they're now just 4 away. Service return is wide, they're 3 away. And I think you can stick a fork in this one, folks, now it's done. Alexis and Sabrina have had a wonderful week at these championships to reach the final, but it's just been one step too far against a very compact and strong team in Lim Ming-hui and Bernice. Bernice on the backhand with the error there. A 6-point gap here. It's going to require 5 points on serve. And those 5 points really do need to come now. Alexis on serve. Sabrina following up after the service return. Bernice through the middle. Lim Ming-hui tries to put it away. Really well worked by Alexis and Sabrina. This wonderful point by the two youngsters. They're going to have to play that. It was dropping in. Lim Ming-hui gets down low. Backhand from Bernice Lim. High quality point of badminton you're watching here. Best rally of the game so far. Who's going to pick up the point? It's the cruel thing about badminton. Doesn't matter how wonderful the points are to watch. The points all count the same, and it goes the way of surely now the champions-elect, Bernice Lim, coming up with a nice change of pace to outfox Alexis and Sabrina finally. A reminder, men's singles final is next. Vega Noanda of Indonesia, Jason Tay of Singapore, defending champion, #2 seed, and a real hope for Singapore international badminton moving forward. He's up next. Another nice change of pace from Bernice Lim. Lim Ming-hui goes long. Oh, lovely touch, Lim Ming-hui. This is one of those long rallies of which they've enjoyed success, but not this time for the second straight point. Bernice Lim with a deft change of pace to bring about 8 match points for the #1 seeds. Lim Ming-hui and Bernice Lim. Don't forget to drop us a message on the Facebook comment section. Let us know who you're supporting as the players just take on some liquid at match point as our officials are out there drying the court. Their emotions haven't changed, which I think is always a good sign in sports persons, particularly when you're in a doubles team here. Alexis and Sabrina, always worth remembering, they are just 17 years of age, and it looks like it's only a matter of time before they'll go down in this final, but they have at least been more competitive in the second game. But the first match point is taken out, 21-8, 21-12, and the #1 seeds, Bernice Lim and Lim Ming-hui, are your champions in the women's doubles at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021. And we'll shortly bring you the presentation ceremony. Kang Yang is taking care of that, and then we'll be back with the men's single final in probably no more than 5 or so minutes. Vega Noanda of Indonesia against Singapore's Jason Tay. So you're looking at the podium for the presentation ceremony for the women's doubles. Our champions, Bernice Lim and Lim Minghui, the #1 seeds. Commiserations and congratulations as well to Sabrina and Alexis Lee for making the final at the tender age of 17. I am told presenting the prizes for this event will be Mr. Ng Yuk Weng, the Vice President and Tournament Committee Chairman of Singapore's Badminton Association. And the players are now milling around about to pick up their prize money and trophy. So we'll be bringing you that presentation very shortly.
So right now, invite the presenter for the women's double event, the Vice President and Tournament Committee Chairman of the Badminton Association, Mr. Ng Wei. The runners-up of the women's double event goes to Sabrina Lee and Alexis Lee.
So Sabrina and Alexis take their plaudits as runners-up.
Champions of the Singapore Sports Club National Open Championship 2021 goes to Bernice Lee and Lim Minghui.
And Bernice and Lim Minghui receive their trophy from the Vice President and Tournament Committee Chairman at the SBA, Mr. Ng Yuk Weng. Yes, and in case you can't hear it, Kang Nian quite rightly thanking the sponsors, Eagle Brand, Neo Garden, Leaning, of course the title sponsor, the Singapore Sports Hub, the Tote Board as well, who do such good work in the sporting sphere, not forgetting 100 Plus as well. So congratulations to our women's doubles champions. Stay with us, we'll be back with the men's singles final, the main event for many. Vega Nwanda and Jason Tay is next. Welcome back to #1 court here at the OCBC Arena, where we're continuing the Singapore Sports Hub's coverage of the National Open Badminton Championships 2021. Our match referee conducting the toss between Singapore's Jason Tay, defending champion and #2 seed, and Indonesia's Vega Nwanda, who caused something of a sensation on Thursday by defeating the #1 seed Joel Koh. And yesterday he dispatched quite comfortably 17-10 Darian Ng. As for Jason Tay, well, he could hardly have been more impressive in beating Lee Wai Hong, the #3 seed, 12-10 yesterday. And Jason has yet to drop a game, living up to his reputation. But with Vega Nwanda, the Indonesian will provide his toughest opposition of the competition so far. Jason, identifiable from his sleeveless jersey. Absolute credit to the Singapore Sports School, his alma mater, and the Singapore Badminton Association. Had the pleasure of sitting down with him for a long interview this week. Very affable chap at just 20 years of age, defending the title he won at the age of 19 last year. There is our umpire for this men's singles final, Mr. Sim Wee Kong, and our service judge is Lydia Lowe, who is our umpire in the mixed doubles earlier. Will be fascinating to see if Jason Tay is truly tested by Nwanda here. You'd think he may well be, and I'm hoping he is to a certain extent, just to see if we can get a glimpse of his real potential. Badminton players come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? But he looks a real traditional athlete, Jason Tay. And bearing in mind that if be very aware of Nwanda's game, two of them practicing here earlier this week, it'll be a good indication of how developed his game is on the mental side if he can dispatch Nwanda in straight games here. So we're underway, men's singles final in the Singapore Sports Sub-National Open Badminton Championships of 2021. Jason Tay on serve in the sleeveless blue on the far side. Nearest to us, the Indonesian Vago Nwanda, who's going to start strong here, and more importantly, who's going to finish the strongest. Nice flick serve by Jason Tay. Service return forces the early mistake out of Tay. Oh, lovely trajectory from Jason. Good get that from Nwanda, but it drops wide. Jason on the forehand with good elevation. Nwanda with a good get there, sends it up high, and another good get. Just couldn't creep it over the net, and Jason Tay wins his first point on his own serve. Crucial he doesn't put himself under any unnecessary pressure early here and give up some early points. Sending Nwanda back deep. Great shot variation early from Jason. Look at that for a cross-court winner. Absolutely unstoppable stuff from Singapore's Jason Tay, the #2 seed, expressing himself in no uncertain terms early here. Against a man, remember, in Nwanda, who beat the #1 seed on Thursday in the quarterfinals. That backhand into the net. Slightly uncharacteristic mistake. Oh, great shot again from Jason Tay. The trajectory he gets with a fantastic height for a badminton player, just clearing the net, and when it's showing that trajectory with the amount of downward pressure he's getting on the ball, so difficult for Nwanda to react. Change of shuttlecock at 4-2. Tay on serve. Oh, again, he goes across court so effectively. Makes it so difficult to pick his next shot, the opponent, when they come in like that. For the cute little hairpin drop there, but to no avail when Jason starts to open up. Dream start for him, really. If you'd have offered him 5-2 at the start of the match, I'm sure he would have taken it after 7 points. Power again, well reached by Nwanda. You can see the Indonesian's got a really nice touch here. So Jason Tay is going to have to sometimes be patient and wait for his opportunity, just as he did then. Nwanda managed to bat away the first smash, not the second, and it's now 6-2. Don't forget, if you're watching on the Facebook page, leave your comments in the comment section. Wilson Chu congratulating Ming Hui and Bernice Lim, and indeed the runners-up for that wonderful women's doubles final. We haven't had one of the finals really get nail-biting yet. I've got a feeling that may come in the women's final later on, when Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chua take part in the final for the second straight year. Deep reply from Jason Tay, just too good at this point. Really is working around the court, looks to be playing well within himself. Very comfortable indeed. Looking to become a back-to-back champion, a two-time Singapore National Open champion at the age of just 20. Look at that from Nwanda. He couldn't have played that shot any better, and still Jason Tay retains the ascendancy in the rally and goes on to win the point, and that's going to be crushing for Nwanda. He couldn't have played that shot any better, but getting down brilliantly to his right to repel it was Jason Tay. Shot selection has just been so good to this point, Jason Tay, and he is romping away with the first game. 10-2 lead. And Nwanda, who, let's not forget, as I've already stated, got the better of #1 seed Joel Koh on Thursday. 17-21, 21-8, 21-10. So I suppose that would be slightly cautionary for Jason, that Nwanda certainly improved as that game went on against Joel Koh, but on the evidence of what we've seen in these first 50 minutes, how can Nwanda get back into this game? That's probably the worst mistake that Jason's made so far, to bring to an end a run of 7 straight points. Just get the feeling the normal service is going to be resumed very quickly. Drops in. So, couple of errors. One shot into the net and a misjudged leave. Just gives Nwanda a sniff. Jason Tay won't want to let the Indonesian get back into this game, having been dominant at 10-2. 10-4 still very comfortable, and for 10-4, read 11-4. He hits the ball with such velocity sometimes, Jason Tay, it's almost impossible to pick it up with the naked eye. Hits that ball of the shuttlecock with absolute power. But Nwanda's just crept back into this a little bit. 4 points on the spin from 10-2 to 10-6. Oh, how did Nwanda get to that one? Well, the Indonesian all of a sudden is starting to express himself, but that was a wonderful find from Jason Tay. So a 5-point lead at the first turn in the first game, and it's very much advantage to the #2 seed. But he will be wary that Nwanda came on strong in the second half of the game against Joel Koh. Warm welcome if you're watching on the I Love Badminton or One Play Sports Facebook pages. Do leave us a message in the comment section. We'll give you a mention on the broadcast and tell us who you're supporting. I imagine Jason Tay has got his fan club here, and I'm sure if you're watching in Indonesia supporting Nwanda, you'll be cheering him on as well. It's great to have you with us. Well, Nwanda is the first one ready to resume. Scoreline not as horrific as it was for him at 2-10, but still with a lot of work to do here. At 10-2, Jason maybe just took his foot off the gas a little bit. Sheikh Zarin Tasnim Min is with us, watching on Facebook. Oh, Jason Tay, wonderful, delicate touch, but when the power's required, he finds the power, and there's that power found there, and he takes the first point after the turn. I think there was an acknowledgement there that maybe he's a bit fortunate as he unruffles the feathers of the shuttlecock. Oh, look at that, deceived that shot so well. Nwanda did brilliantly to get to it, but there was no way he could recover quickly enough, having had to make that emergency action for the shot from Jason Tay that followed. And having been on a good run, Nwanda, just before the turn, he's now lost the first 2 points since the resumption. A reminder still to come after this afternoon. We've got the men's doubles final. #1 seed Terry He, already a mixed doubles champion today, and Lokian Heen against Albert Sapatra and Bimo Adi Prakoso of Indonesia. And then the last final will be the women's singles final. Jaslyn Hoy, the defending champion, a #1 seed against the lady she beat in last year's final, Grace Chua, who is already today a beaten finalist in the mixed doubles. Oh, Jason Tay's power again. Wonderful get from Nwanda. And having worked hard to repel the initial smash, his next shot goes straight into the net, and this is a 7-point gap, and it's starting to look insurmountable. He's just looking a bit frustrated here, Vega Nwanda, probably wondering what he has to try and do to get competitive against the very, very impressive, to this point, Jason Tay, who I'm sure has his fingers and toes crossed that the SEA Games go ahead in Hanoi later this year. Well, that's the first one of those shots he's put into the net there, just getting his angles wrong on that particular play. Still an awful lot to like about the way Jason Tay has played in his all-round game in this first game of the match. This men's final in the 2021 Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships. Look at that touch from Nwanda, using the base of the court as leverage on the racket. Great shot. Jason Tay again. His power game at the moment is just overwhelming Nwanda. Every time Nwanda lofts something high and centre, Jason Tay is not hesitating to attack. And that philosophy's helped him build up a 7-point lead. That might be about to be an 8-point lead. And that's hit the deck. It's not like tennis, you can't let the shuttlecock bounce once before you try and get it back over the net. Bulatangius Postif also with us on Facebook. Just goes wide, not by much from Jason Tay, but I suppose when you lead by 8 you can express yourself with those kind of shots. He has to be a little bit wary. Remember, he led 10-2 and Nwanda reeled off a string of service points just before the turn. Oh, look at that delicate touch from Jason Tay. And what that does is immediately puts him in the ascendancy of the point. He had plenty of time to set himself for that shot. And he's having a look at the shuttlecock. I'm not sure he was entirely convinced that there wasn't an issue in flight there. He seemed to lose it, but again, as mentioned, it's just the fact that Nwanda is one of those players that out of nowhere can rattle off 4 or 5 unspectacular points in a row. Jason Tay doesn't want to keep him on serve for much longer, and with shots like that he surely won't. Nwanda with a great get. Jason Tay, well, he tried to win the point once and failed, and when he tried to win it a second time, into the net it went. And just like that, the gap's down to 5. He's led by as many as 8. Still the overwhelming favourite to take out the first game, but evidence that Nwanda could still prove troublesome in the second game when it comes. Backhand gets lots of height from Jason Tay. Oh, it's gone in again. Well, he's having an issue in the last 5 minutes, isn't he? Judging the shuttlecock in flight. That's a second error of judgment. And just like that, the gap is now close to 4. Extraordinary. Put that one away well, though, to get him back on track and bring to an end a run of 3 straight points for Nwanda on his own serve. Just asking the chair umpire if he could towel down, and of course Benjamin happy to acquiesce to that request. He's 4 away from taking out the first game in this men's final. Reminder, men's doubles final after this. Terry He and Lokian Hien against Albert Saputra and Bino Adi Prakoso of Indonesia. And then the women's singles final, bringing the curtain down on a magnificent championships here at the Singapore Sports Hub over the course of the last week. Jaslyn Hyoe, who was out on her feet yesterday, getting the better of Insira Khan in her semi-final against Grace Chua, who coped well with 2 games yesterday. Has already played once today, finishing runners-up in the mixed doubles with her partner Andy Kwek. Nwanda sends Andy Tay deep. He's unable to put that one away. He's going to get another chance though. Another good defensive shot from Nwanda. Third chance to put it away with power, and this time the net cord helps out Jason Tay. Well, he suffered a couple of cases of misjudgment in flight. That time the flight just sufficient enough to see it trickle over the net. 18-12. Is this where Jason Tay goes through the gears and puts this game to sleep in a heartbeat? He's helped there by that cross-court effort from Nwanda going wide. Lovely cross-court shot again. He's just dominated in the middle of the court with those high smashes all the way through the game. Must have a conversion rate in the high 70s on those shots. Finds a wonderful angle. That one goes long, but he's still got 7 game points to play with. He's already seen one come and gone. He'll get one now on the Nwanda serve, and Vega Vio Nwanda has proved capable of winning points in his own serve. Just not as many, of course, as Jason, who doesn't take a chance with a misjudgment of flight that time. Lovely touch from Nwanda, though, and there he goes again. There's enough evidence from what we've seen of the Indonesian that this might be more competitive in the second game. Not that it's really been uncompetitive here. Jason Tay's just come out on top. Some big points. That's gone wide. He wanted to, I think he went to the sky to try and appeal that, but I think it was a good call from the line judge. Of course, there's no Hawkeye here at the OCBC. Wasn't ready for the serve there. Jason Tay, 2015. It was looking like it might be a slightly easier closeout of this first game a minute ago. Can he close it out now at the 3rd time of asking? Yes, he can. So 21-15, number 2 seed Jason Tay takes out the opener. But Nwanda looks like he's the kind of player that might not go away meekly in the second game. Going to be interesting. Stay with us. It's the men's singles final at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships of Badminton for 2021. And Jason Tay, the defending champion, looking to go back-to-back at the age of just 20. On his path to hopefully greater glories in 2021, is in control. He leads Vega Nwanda by 1 game to love. Vega Nwanda anxious to get back on with things here. Jason Tay just keeping him waiting. Toweling down. It will be Tay on serve to start the second. Bit of talc to maintain his grip. And Jason Tay noticeably taking the full 2 minutes. Vega Nwanda just wants to get back on with things. Jason Tay, the defending champion, making sure that it's the Indonesian that plays the game at his pace. So in this second game, it'll be Jason Tay on that wide shot nearest to us. Nwanda over on the far side of the court in black. Remember, he raced out to a 10-2 lead in the first game. Is it going to be a repeat performance here, or has Noanda got some tools in his locker to make this second game more competitive? Well, he's going to pick up the first point in any event. Sure he could have done with that one. Dropping in. Who's going to go on this run of service points first? It's dropped in again, and Jason Tay looks up. It's just another misjudgment. There's 3 of them. I mean, he won the first game 21-15. That's his 3rd misjudgment on letting the shuttlecock drop in. Cheap mistake from Noanda, and we're tied again at 2 each. I do get the feeling both these players are capable of stringing 5 or 6 service points in a row on. Jason obviously did that in the first game. Noanda, I think, won 4 on the spin at one stage off his own serve. Jason Tay will become the first player to win a point on serve in this second game. Now, can he run up a sequence? The Indonesian up against it here, trailing 1-love and 2-3. Nice cross-court that time for Noanda, but Jason Tay still dominating the court. Noanda's just for the first time showing signs of some frustration here as Jason Tay opens up by 2 in this second game. Noanda needs to summon some of the masterful play that saw off #1 seed Joel Coe on Thursday in a match where he also lost the first game before taking out the second and third. Oh, Jason Tay made that look effortless, reaching that very aggressive shot from Noanda. Again, he's mixing up pace, power and precision really well, Jason Tay. This is the best rally of this match so far. Jason Tay again. Noanda has all the answers for now, but not then. Into the net it goes, and Jason Tay with a very hard-worked point. To bring up 2 consecutive service points won. I think he wants the court wiped down here. Well done again to all our officials at the Singapore Badminton Association who've done such a great job to get these championships played under these very difficult circumstances. Of course, all COVID-19 protocols and safe distancing measures have been adhered to. I can testify for that because even when I pop out to the bathroom, I'm asked to scan back in by a very efficient staff outside this OCBC arena, this incredible sporting facility in Singapore. And it's great to see, under controlled measures, people coming back to use these facilities. We're about 100 yards away here from where the ATP tennis will be visiting at the end of February. They're starting to put together that arena for the ATP tennis tour. Here though, it's all about shuttlecocks, not tennis balls. 5-2 Tay, leading by a game to love. Goes long there though. Doesn't seem happy with the flight of the ball on occasion. Oh, got helped by the net cord there. Almost hit into the net, then onto the net cord and dribbled over. Gets it back to within 1. You've seen Jason Tay string off 3 service points, but not Noanda. He stops at just the 1. He's never really looked at any danger in this match. He's had moments, Jason Tay, where maybe just switched off, a couple of errors of judgment, and Noanda's played some fine shots himself to rattle off 4 or 5 points, but Jason Tay still looks the player that's capable of really pulling away without any warning. That's a great cross-court shot. That's the best shot Noanda's played in the game so far. He's going to need plenty more of those. Wasn't ready for the serve then, Jason Tay. And this time Jason Tay gets the net cord assistance. Spectacular points in this game have been few and far between, but still seen some wonderful shots, and that's dropped in right on the line. Jason Tay, can he turn on the turbos here and go into the turn? 11-5 in front. That's what he's trying to do. Oh, given a great opportunity, Nwanda manages to repel it without having to expel too much energy. Time going to the left. Look at the reflexes from both players here. That's going wide. He was a good leave. And he does indeed open up by 4, his biggest lead of this second game so far. Not been a flawless performance from Jason Tay, but he's been by far the better player. Just can't afford any mental lapses now. Needs to take this out in 2 games. There's no need for an unnecessary third if you're Jason Tay's camp here. Centre court again with plenty of power. Nwanda just changing up his tactics a little bit here, but Jason Tay still got the answers as he reaches double digits. And there's a 5-point lead in the second game. The number 2 seed bidding to become the first of what could be 3 defending champions to retain their crowns today. He's defending champion, of course, in the men's singles. Terry He and Lo Kien Hian are defending champions in the men's doubles. And Jaslyn Hoi is the defending champion in the women's singles. That men's doubles and women's singles match is still to come. As, again, Jason Tay just taking his time. He won't be rushed by anyone here. It's usually the other player that's on the wrong end of the scoreline that tries to start slowing things down and changing the pace. But Jason Tay, he's executed his game plan well to this point. Didn't risk letting that one drop. Rather could get with the forehand, then to the backhand, into the net. Doesn't like that shot, does he? With good reason. He just needs to get over the line here to 11 points without losing too many more. He led 10-2, remember, and let Nwanda right back into it at 10-7. Just inviting the smash there was Jason Tay, and he's forced another mistake. Nwanda out of Jason. Very much like the previous game, he just can't seem to get to that 11-point mark. Not that he doesn't seem to be trying, it's just maybe finding himself rushing the points a little bit too much. And that one is in, but wide. So nothing wrong with the length, but the width was the problem. And Nwanda, as he did against Joel Coe, all of a sudden out of nowhere, having looked on his way to the runners-up spot, is competitive all of a sudden. Jason Tay needs this point. Oh, what a recovery from Nwanda. Just couldn't make it work after that net cord, and maybe that's a bit of luck that Jason Tay needs to get back on track. I say back on track, he still leads by a game to love in 11-8, but just signs of wobbles in the last 2 or 3 minutes. But the number 2 seed and defending champion is in control against Indonesia's Vega Nwanda. A reminder, the men's doubles defending champion Terry He and Lo Kien Hian against Indonesia's Albert Sapotra and Bimoadi Prakoso follows this before we round off our final Sunday at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships with Jaslyn Hugh and Grace Stewart. Once again, as in the first game, Vega Nwanda just wants to get on with things, and once again Jason Tay's making him wait, taking the full 2 minutes. Applying the talcum powder maybe just to assist with the grip. Changing the shuttlecock as well. Next 3 points are going to be crucial. I don't fancy Nwanda if he's 13-8, 14-8 down. If he can get this to 11-10 straight off the restart, we might have a whole new game on our hands. He can't do it there though, and Jason Tay opens up by 4 once more. Needs to get back on serve, Nwanda. Well, Jason Tay has got the shuttlecock in hand. Nwanda knows his percentages of getting back into this game plummet by the second. Good get. Once, twice. Jason Tay. Oh, very nearly got that one as well now. He had a split-second decision to make there. I think he might have made the right one. I'm almost certain that would have dropped in. It was borderline. But what it has done was just given Nwanda a bit of a lift, as Jason Tay wants his side of the court wiped down again. Too close for comfort for Jason Tay here. Nwanda's already shown in the first game that he can rattle off consecutive points, just as Jason Tay's been doing. He wants to make sure, Jason, the bottom line is, if he only allows Nwanda one serve before service goes over in the next 4 minutes, he will be the Singapore Sports Hub National Open champion for 2021. Doesn't want to give Nwanda 2 serves. How on earth did Nwanda get to that? Brilliant get, but Jason Tay followed that up with an unplayable shot with Nwanda sprawling. And that point, for me, crucial. Nwanda looked ready there with a brilliant get to maybe go on a little run of his own. As it is, Jason Tay can now try and take a point on his own serve. Got time to set himself for this. Goes deep rather than the power play smash through the middle. Might go for the power play next time he gets a chance though. He's on the back foot in this rally and pays the price. Just, again, signs of frustration. No panic stations yet, but Nwanda is the kind of shuttler that's not going to just lie down and have his tummy tickled and let Jason Tay run away with this. With a great angle there. Jason Tay recovers well to still maintain the ascendancy in the point. Great arching of his back there to get that smash away. And Nwanda has no answers, and he's maintaining that pattern that he needs to do. Just make sure that every time Nwanda is on serve, it's a 1 and over. Just asking, I think, if he can tie his shoelace here. Jason Tay, no question, he's trying to slow this game down and maybe frustrate Nwanda. And if you look at the scoreboard, it's having the desired effect. Congratulations already today to Terry He and Elaine Chua, our mixed doubles champions, beating Andy Queck and Grace Chua in straight games. Congratulations too to the #1 seeds in the women's doubles, Bernice Lim and Lim Ming Hui, beating the 17-year-old youngsters Sabrina and Alexis Lee, also in straight games. And here, 7 points away from another straight game success and a back-to-back title for Jason Tay. Jason thought about letting that one drop. Nwanda, oh, that really is a criminal point to give up. Smiles all round. I think Nwanda maybe thought he'd already won the point. I couldn't believe it had cleared the net. Either way, it was a very cheap point under the circumstances to give away. 6 away from the title now, Jason Tay. And we talked about Jason knowing he just has to keep Nwanda off serve or only serve one and done. Nwanda can only afford a couple of more service points won on the Jason Tay serve. Jason Tay is almost Rafael Nadal-like in his pre-point routines. Any excuse to get off the court and reset himself he seems to take, even when he's been in the ascendancy, as he is in this game. He Yeah, Noanda's head appears to have dropped maybe here. That's the second very cheap point he's given up. 16-11. The die may be cast here. Jason Tay at the age of 20. About to go back-to-back, you fancy, in the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships. Noanda's last couple of efforts have tamely gone into the net, and he has, I think, spat the dummy out now. Vega Noanda, Jason Tay pulling away, leads by 6, his biggest lead in this game so far. He did have an 8-point lead in the first game before Noanda made it interesting, briefly. But I think Noanda is a beaten man, and Jason Tay's range of shots, his shot making, his execution and his on-court psychology is getting the better of Vega Noanda in these closing stages. 18-11 now to within 3, and he knows the game is up here. Does Vega Noanda? We'll have the prize presentation ceremony immediately after this. Kang Nyang will be officiating that with Mr. Mahendra Kapoor, the Managing Director of Sunlight Sports Private Limited, who are the distributors of leaning equipment, one of our valued sponsors here. Great to have Mr. Kapoor with us. As Jason Tay, partly for Mr. Kapoor's benefit, I'm sure, is really going through the gears now and proving, well, at the age of 20, he could be a real international force for Singapore badminton moving forward. He's got the look, he's got the game, and on the evidence of the last half an hour of play, he's got the psychology down packed as well, because he's worn down Vega Noanda, who is always going to be a plucky opponent. He turned over the #1 seed Joel Coe on Thursday. Jason Tay manages to see that one drop in to bring about 9 championship points for Jason Tay. He's broken the spirits of Vega Noanda, who threatened on a couple of times to make this final interesting. But Jason Tay has been just too good. He takes it out, 21-15, 21-11. Jason Tay goes back-to-back at the age of 20 to be your Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021 men's singles champion. The prize presentation ceremony to come with Mr. Mahendra Kapoor, the Managing Director of Sunlight Sports, the distributors of Li Ning. We'll be bringing you that, and then moving on to the men's doubles final. Terry He and Low Kian Hian against Indonesia's Albert Saputra and Bimo Adi Prakoso. Terry He and Low Kian Hian, like Jason Tay, looking to go back-to-back at these championships. Commiserations to Vega Noanda, but the best man here has most definitely won.
So right now, we invite a past presenter for the singles event, men's singles event, the managing director of Lady Shield Sunlight Sports Private Limited, Mr. Mahinda Kapoor.
So Mr. Mahinda Kapoor, the Managing Director of Sunlight Sports, the distributors of leaning equipment in Singapore, presenting the prize to our champion, Jason Tay, and our runners-up, Noanda Vega.
Runners-up for the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championship 2021, Vega Noanda. And the champion for the singles and singles event, Jason Tay Kiahe. So at this juncture, we want to thank our other sponsors, Singapore Sports Hub, part sponsors, Mini, 100 Plus, New Garden, Eagle Brand. Also thank you Sports SG for supporting the event.
Kang Yang
Congratulate Jason Tay for
rightly
winning the
thanking the sponsors, the Tote Board, Sports Singapore, Neo Garden, 100 Plus, as well as, of course, Leaning and the Singapore Sports Hub, along with Eagle Brand. And well done again to the organisers of the Singapore Badminton Association. So Jason Tay goes back-to-back at the age of 20. He's champion 30 months after he lifted the crown in 2021. Who will be champion in the men's doubles? Will it be Singapore's Terry He and Loh Kian Hian, or Indonesia's Albert Saputra and Bimo Adi Prakoso? We'll find out next. And don't forget, after that, the women's singles final. Number 1 and 2 seeds going head-to-head for the second straight year, Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chua. Still to come live on I Love Badminton and One Play Sports. Well, welcome back. Apologies for the slight delay due to, would you believe, an equipment malfunction, because the pairing, the number 1 seed pairing no less, of Terry He and Lo Kian Hian didn't have the same jersey, so they've had to go into the supply cupboard and find some rather fetching yellow and blue luminous numbers to wear for this men's final. They'll be taking on the Indonesian pair there, Albert Saputra and Bimo Adi Prakosa, who were so impressive yesterday. Terry He and Lo Kian Hian. Terry, of course, we've already seen lift the title in the mixed doubles. He'll be looking to double up here. The only player that is able to double up, of course, Grace Chua plays in the women's singles final after this, but she was beaten in that same mixed doubles final. So just to help you, if you're not familiar with the players, Lo Kian Hian is the yellow and the black trainers. Terry He is in the yellow trainers. I hope I've got that right. I think I have. So the players will just knock up and then we'll be good to go. If you're just joining us, it's been a congratulatory day for Terry He and Elaine Chua. Also, congratulations to Bernice Lim and Lim Ming Hui. They won the mixed doubles and the women's doubles respectively. Men's singles taken out very impressively by Jason Tay in straight games, 21-15, 21-11 against Vega Nwanda to go back-to-back. And we'll find out who'll be our men's doubles champions momentarily. Our chair umpire for this men's doubles final is Serbi Yi, service judge Patrick Leahy, and just to confirm, it's Terry He in the white trainers in the yellow jersey and Lo Kian Hian in the black and yellow. So Albert and Prakoso, nearest to us from Indonesia, in the men's doubles final. Unseeded the Indonesians, Terry He and Lo Kian Hian, number 1 seeds. And a very quick fire start with an electric opening rally with the power of the Singaporeans. Too much for Prakoso on that occasion. And that's going to be a feature, as it always is in men's doubles, the lightning play, quick points, and lots of power. Albert on serve. Service return is met well, and they become the first pairing to win a point on their own serve. Very aggressive shot from Prakoso. Albert trying to get it short, or the net cord really helping Terry He there. And now it's the number 1 seeds edging in front. Don't think there's going to be much between these two on the evidence of what we've seen through the opening minutes. This could become a battle of endurance, because this is going to be very tiring, the kind of badminton these two are playing. Lo Kian Hian with the put away that time, and the number 1 seeds now establish a lead. Into the net from Terry He. Played 7 points in what feels like less than 60 seconds. And there's been a couple of rallies in that time as well. Thanks again to everyone watching on the I Love Badminton Facebook page and the One Play Sports Facebook page as well. Hope you're safe and well wherever you're watching from. Special hello to our friends, of course, in Indonesia. Great to see more congratulations being given on the Facebook page by Wilson Chu. Ahmed Zaki is with us. Do let us know if you're watching, where you're watching from and who you're supporting here. Just about advantage Singapore here, but Albert on serve now for the Indonesian pair. And that's an unforced error really from Terry He, and just like that we're all square at 5 each. Chance for Terry He to put it away, doesn't take it, but no mistake at all from Loh Kian Hian. In these men's doubles matches, when you serve one up near the net at that kind of height, it is going to be put away. Great defensive badminton from the Indonesians, almost on autopilot. They've managed to see off a couple of potential winners from the Singaporeans. It can't go on, can it? Wonderful rally this. Prakoso. When will they get a chance themselves, the Indonesians, to try and win this point? Might come now from Prakoso, picked up, and still it goes on. Albert maybe thinking he should have left that in retrospect. His reply goes wide. And the best point of the game so far is won by Terry He and Loh Kian Hian, despite some stunning defence from Albert Sapotra and Prakoso. Very well played. Alert reaction to that service return. Good serving from Terry He. Power-packed shuttling here. Look at that for a put away. Terry He, statement of intent shot there as they edge towards the turn at 11 points, just 2 away. Boy, they'd like to win the next 2 service points to give themselves some proper daylight. They won't do it that way with a needless service fault. He'd like that one back, I'm sure. Loh Kian Hian. They exchange poor serves there. So 2 dud serves, 1 from each pair back to back. No dud serve this time. Just great defensive and attacking badminton. And it's the Singaporeans that take out the last point before the break, 11-7. Loh Kian He and Albert and Prakoso. The Indonesians just having to give best for now. Very quick turnaround, both pairs willing to get straight back on with it. And another service error, that's the 4th service error through the first 18 points. Service return is well dealt with by Albert. Thought about leaving it, was forced to play it near to the ground, and that essentially gave the advantage to the Indonesians, who in the blink of an eye have got it back to 11-9. Slow out the blocks after the resumption, the Singaporean pair. Albert with a chance to finish it, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and every time Terry He was equal to it. Terry He again, the reactions of He sensational, but Loh Kian Hian's eventual effort into the net, and that's 3 points on the spin for Albert and Prakoso. Oh, great get from Loh Kian Hian. Oh, wonderful shot, great improvisation from Terry He. And they needed that to stop the rot, having lost 3 points on the bounce. We're yet to see any of our finals go the distance so far. Straight game wins for Terry He and Elaine Chua in the mixed doubles. Straight games wins for Bernice Lim and Lim Min Kui in the women's doubles. And a straight game win for Jason Tay in the men's singles. Still this final, and of course the women's singles between Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chua still to come. That's gone wide. Chance gone, and Prakoso knows it. So having lost the first 3, they've won the next 2 after the restart. Indonesians need to find a way of getting the serve back, and that they do, courtesy of Prakoso's effort. Just 1 point in this now. And if anyone can string 4 or 5 points together from this point, they'll become red-hot favourites to go on and win the game. Thought about letting that drop and decided against it. Lo Kian Hian, and the delayed reaction forced the error. We're tied at 13 apiece. Another service error though. It's the 5th service error through 26 points. That's a service return error this time. Very cheap point to give up in the context. And the Singaporeans, who are on the march to 21.2 in the first game. 15-13 they lead. Might be about to be 16-13, and is wonderful smash from Terry He. Can they put the hammer down and see game number 1 out? The number 1 seeds looking to retain the title they won 13 months ago. Oh, wonderful power from Prakoso, but he's sent the wrong way brilliantly by Lo Kian Hian. And the Singaporeans maybe just showing signs that they're the more rounded team. Albert and Prakoso desperately trying to hang tough, but this first game is slipping away from them. They need a couple of points in succession quickly here, and they're going to be in trouble again from the power of Lo Kian Hian. And they've finally strung together a convincing spell of 4 service points to put them within touching distance of a 1-game lead. Both these pairings yet to concede a game in the championship's knockout stages so far. Indonesians finally managed to get the serve back, but the damage may well be done in the context of this first game. Oh, what reactions from Prakoso. They deserve this point from Prakoso's reactions alone. Albert now thrown up in the air by Terry He. And that's off the net cord and wide. That was a point they definitely deserved. Albert and Prakoso. Gap is now 3. Yes. Terry and Lo Kian Hian coming through 26 and 21-16, 21-13 yesterday against Jinsuki and Wesley Ko. Prakoso coming through 11 and 13 against Hao-In Wong and Aaron Shen. Well, it was that little burst, wasn't it, on their own serve. 3 points back. Let's put them in pole position to take out this first game, but they've got to close it. Taylor's oldest time in badminton. Players of any... They'll have a chance to do it now, though. Good defence, wonderful defence from the Indonesians. The reaction's world-class. But it's to no avail, and the Singaporeans are just tending now to come out on top in the longer points, which bodes well for the second game. 5-game points for Terry He and Lo Kian Hian. How many they're going to need? They'll need at least 2, courtesy of that put away by Albert. So Putra and Prakoso representing the Kinetics Sports Alliance, and Terry He and Lo Kian Hian representing HT Wiramesh and the Chinese Swimming Club. And They close out the first game eventually, 21-16, so it was comfortable enough, but the way these high-octane games are played, in the blink of an eye, you can lose 4 or 5 points on the bounce, so they'll be wary of making sure they close this out in the second game. I don't think they'd fancy the plucky Indonesians in a game number 3. As the cord is mopped down and we await the resumption of this men's doubles final at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021. Women's singles final still to come, remember. Justin Hugh and Grace Chur promises to be a cracker. That will follow this. Great to see that the Indonesians have their fans on the Facebook page. Satya Adi Nugroho saying, "Go on, Bimo." And Ida G. Rempiana as well, cheering on the Indonesians, as is Benny Kusnandi. So, break between games is over. If you're just joining us, it's the Singaporeans in the yellow, Terry He in the white and black trainers, and Lo Kian Hian in the yellow and black. And over on the far side, Prakoso is a slightly larger of the two Indonesians wearing the black and white trainers. On serve, Lo Kian Hian gonna get a chance. Is Terry He to use that power that he's famous for? And what a finish that was from Lo Kian Hian as they take the first point on serve of the second game. I'm sure they'd like to run up a sequence here. We saw Jason Tay kill the resilience of Vega Naranda with a very strong showing midway through the second game in the men's singles against an Indonesian. Can the Singapore pair do the same against an Asian couple here, where they've been assisted by a net cord again? And it's a strong start on the serve of Lo Kian Hian to this second game. Very odd service return, but it does the trick. They all count, don't they? Saputra getting it done. Albert on serve. Very good reaction to the return from Albert. He anticipated it brilliantly and enabled quite an easy kill of the point. Oh, it was well left eventually by Terry He. He had more confidence than I did that was going to drop long. Again, the net cord comes into play, assisting the Indonesians this time. Chance for Lo Kian Hian to finish. Now Terry He. Lo Kian Hian cross court brilliantly. Nothing that Prakoso can do about that. We talked in the women's doubles of Bernie Slim and Lim Min Hui looking like a really rounded doubles team, and that's the case with Terry He and Lo Kian Hian as well. Bodes well for Singapore's international badminton ventures to come this season. Of course, the SEA Games on the horizon in Hanoi at the end of the year. We hope that manages to take place. Important point for the Indonesians to win there. Just to stay within one. All smiles from the Singapore pair, though. I think they've got this final under control at this point. But the way these four men are playing badminton, high octane and very quick points, it can all change very quickly. Power from Terry He. Terry He again. Straight into the body once, twice. Well worked by Albert in response, though, and that was a well-worked point. The hand goes up, I think, in acknowledgement of maybe a net cord along the way or even a miss hit. But they're level in the second, 4-all. And now they take the lead, a botched service return. Don't see that often from Terry He. Satya Adi Nagroho with us on Facebook as well. Great to see big numbers tuning in. No spectators, of course, allowed here at the National Open Championships this year, which is a shame, but Singapore Badminton Association have done a wonderful job of organising this event with COVID-19 safe distancing and protocol measures employed. And I talked about games changing very quickly the way this match is being played, and that's been the case here because Albert and Prakoso opened up 7-4. Singaporeans stopped the rot with that point. Lee Kian Hien on serve, and I re-established a 3-point gap after that effort goes in wide. Singaporeans here with a chance to level it off this point. Great defensive reaction from Loh Kian Hian, and a great dive, and finally put away after some brilliant defensive badminton by the Singapore pairing. Eventually comes to nothing, and they threw themselves on the court, both of them at individual points in that rally. Prakoso and Albert, I think, are proving a slightly different kettle of fish to the Indonesian challenge that Jason Tay met in Vega Noanda moments ago on court number 1. Officials getting the moisture off the court floor. Lovely put away. Worked that point really well, Terry He. And that coming after they'd drawn a blank with some wonderful defensive work as well. Their turn to go on the offense. Now, can they fashion a point on their own serve here? Answer is no. Prakoso's service return too strong. They've got the mini break in the bag, so to speak, already. Albert and Prakoso, but they missed the chance to work on it there with a service fault. First service fault of this second game, I believe. He's angry with himself as well, with good reason. Always drifting wide right. Well, I was about to say Albert and Prakoso with a point to go into the turn, 11-8 up, which I think is the scoreline that Terry He and Loh Kian Hian went in at in the first game. They missed the chance though, and just like that, the Singaporeans are dead level. And if the Indonesians go to take some hydration in a moment, 11-10 down in this second game, they wonder how on earth that's happened, because they've had the better of it. The Singaporeans now with a chance to take back the lead, having trailed by as many as 3 in this second game, and they're in pole position now to do so. 1 chance, 2 chances, and the point is theirs. Wonderful recovery from 10-7 down to lead 11-10 for Terry He and Loh Kian Hian. And I wonder now what the Indonesian response will be to that. They already trail a game to love. Now they trail 11-10. Plenty more high-octane badminton to come in this final, you fancy, when the second game resumes in just a moment. So Singapore on serve here. It was Terry He's serve. And they can smile about it, but they've lost the point. It's back to 11-all. And this game is still very much even. 11-all. Now 12-11 to the Singaporeans. He and Loh. Convincing put away by Prakoso. Either pairing can win 3 points on the spin on their own serve here. I think it might prove an insurmountable task for the opposition to recover from, and this is now the chance that Terry He and Lo Kian Hian are going to have. Can they put their hammer down? Now leading 13-12, the Singaporeans. And they get that crucial service point. 14-12 to He and Lo, just to amend that scoreboard. And this for 3 points on the spin. Drops wide though. So Albert and Prakoso just about staying in touching distance. Now it's the Indonesians who desperately need 2 points in their own serve. They're going to find it very hard to get one with power plays like that from Terry He, but they find a way to win the point, and it's 14 each. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful reaction to the service from Terry He. Didn't have to move the body, just adjusted the upper torso and contorted a fine service return to again put the Singaporeans in front. And could that shot into the net by Prakoso signal the end of the Indonesian resistance? The Singaporeans looking slightly the fresher of the two pairs now with a 2-point lead, make it 3. It's the biggest lead they've had in this second game, and it's coming at just the right time as they look to close out this Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships for 2021 and win their second straight title. Indonesians giving it one last go, but the Singaporeans have all the answers for now. Oh, lovely change of direction from Lo Kian Hian, and that's going to go wide. And the Singaporeans now just 3 points away from the title. And all of a sudden, they look the fresher of the two pairs as well. 3 points to close it out. Remember, the women's singles final still to come. Justin Hui and Grace Chua. Well, it's now or never really on the Indonesian serve. Albert has to come up with a good serve here. You cannot afford a service fault here in this situation. Oh, what about that behind the back? It goes wide from Terry He, but at least it gives us a bit of shot expression. Not that the Singaporeans want that, they just want to win the points as they can. There's another net cord goes against them, and they've closed it to within 1. Well, 2 points in practically 5 seconds, and Albert and Prakoso all of a sudden are in the ascendancy again. Singaporeans desperate to end this Indonesian serving streak. They'll get a chance now, surely. Yes, they will. Very well put away by Terry He, who's on the brink now of his second title of the afternoon, having won the mixed doubles alongside Elaine Chua. If he can win a point in his serve here, he'll have a match point. Unable to do so. Well, they know to win this game now, the Indonesians have to find 2 straight points on their own serve. It's the only way for them to get back into this final. So Prakoso has to make it happen with a serve here. And they're unable to do so. Another hand goes up in acknowledgement, but it's match points brought about after fine work by Terry He, who's on the brink of his second title of the afternoon. I can see the trophy ready in front of me. Will it be Terry He and Lo Kian Hian lifting it for the second straight year? Is it on the line? It is. Well, they want the call. There's no Hawkeye, and they'll take it out 21-16, 21-18. And it's another win for Singapore against Indonesia. Just as Jason Tay saw off the charge of Vega Nwanda, so have Terry He and Lo Kian Hian seen off the charge of Albert Sapotra and Bimawati Prakoso. Still to come, the women's singles final and the presentation for the men's doubles to be made by Mr. Lionel Yeo, CEO of the Singapore Sports Hub Limited Private Company. The presentation ceremony to come, which will be brought to you by our Master of Ceremonies, Kang Yang, and then we'll be back with our final of the afternoon, the women's singles. Stay with us. So presentation ceremony on the way for our men's doubles champions here at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships 2021. Terry He and Lokian Hian defend the title they won 13 months ago, beating Albert Sapotra and Bimo Adi Prakoso of Indonesia. Women's singles final on the way as well. Stay with us for Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chua.
Right now, let's invite the press presenter, CEO of Sports Hub Limited, Mr. Daniel. So right now, I'm presenting you the runners up for the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championship 2021. Albert Saputra, Bimo Adi Prakoso.
So the Indonesian runners-up getting a warm round of applause from the limited spectators here. Albert Sapotra and Bimo Adi Prakoso.
For the men's doubles event, Terry He and Lokian.
So Terry He and Lokian Hian, impressive 21-16, 21-18 winners. And they're presented with their prize by Mr. Lionel Yeo, the CEO of the Singapore Sports Hub Limited.
And lastly, let's give our warm support and congratulate Terry He and Lokian for winning the best double event.
So congratulations to all four men there after a wonderful week of competition. The men's doubles title is decided. So we now have 4 champions, but we need 5. The women's singles final is next. Jaslyn Hui and Grace Chua meet in a repeat of last year's final. Won last year by Jaslyn Hui, but she looks so tired against Inshira Khan, coming through 24-22 in the decider yesterday. Has she recovered enough? And Grace Chua, remember, was a beaten finalist in the mixed doubles earlier this afternoon. Fascinating clash in prospect. We'll find out what happens next here on One Play Sports and I Love Badminton. Welcome back live to the OCBC Arena for our final of the day. It's number 1 seed Jaslyn Hui in the red shirt, black shorts, against Grace Chua in the blue shirt and black shorts. The number 1 seed takes on the number 2 seed. Grace Chua in action in the first final of the day, way back at 2 o'clock, which is some 3 hours ago now. Has she recovered after the exertions of being part of a losing effort there to do what she couldn't do last year? She was beaten 12 months ago by Jaslyn Hui, 21-16, 21-8, but Jaslyn Hui looked absolutely exhausted at the end of her win against Insura Khan yesterday. She won 24-22 in the decider. She looks fresh enough out there now, but can Grace Chua work around the court enough to maybe expose some fitness weaknesses in the defending champion and #1 seed? It's going to be very interesting to see. Jaslyn Hui, of course, well known to those of you familiar with the Singapore International Badminton team. She's #1 seed for a reason, representing the Chinese Swimming Club, and she found somehow a way to win yesterday. She saved 2 match points against Insura Khan in that third game, and she's managed to appear in the final once again. As for Grace Chua, she's had such a busy spell. She was very impressive in beating Megan Lee, the 16-year-old, in the semi-final yesterday, but she's going to find the experienced Jaslyn Hui, I think, a very much tougher nut to crack. Jaslyn Hui had 2 relatively straightforward wins in the first round in the quarterfinals of the knockout stage before that marathon against Insura Khan yesterday. And Grace Chua, 9-12 against Jaslyn, was very comfortable indeed. There is our chair umpire for this final match, Jason Fu, assisted by service judge Sim Wee Kwei. So we're sure to be set for action here. Grace Chua, whose stamina's held up very well over the course of a busy weekend. She won both her matches yesterday, including with her partner Andy Kwek, knocking out the #1 seeds in the mixed doubles. She came up short in the mixed doubles final. Oh, how she'd like to avenge her defeat against Jaslyn Hui 13 months ago. It's the 2021 Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships Women's Singles Final. It's our final of the day. Already, Terry He, Elaine Chua taking the mixed doubles. Bernice Lim, Lim Min Hui taking the women's doubles. Jason Tay taking the men's singles. Terry He and Lo Kian Hian taking the men's doubles. And we're about to find out who takes the women's singles crown for 2021. She's a very imposing physical specimen on the badminton court, Jaslyn Hui. And she certainly knows how to slug it out. She's got a great power game. She can be graceful, but she's more of a match player than arguably any other player on the local circuit at the moment. She just knows what it takes to find a way to win badminton matches, which is essentially what it's all about. So big task on for Grace. Oh, Jocelyn with the misdirection attempt, goes wide. This is what Grace has got to try and do. Make these points as long as possible. The longer the points go, you fancy, the better the chance Grace has. Have to, of course, keep an eye on Grace's fitness as well after a busy weekend, though. Not just the number of minutes on court. She's played 7 games of badminton already this weekend. 3 games in the mixed doubles semi yesterday, 2 in the women's single final, and then 2 in the mixed doubles final today. This is game number 8. Conceivably, she could have played 10 by the end of the weekend, which is fine if you're just playing social badminton and you're very fit, but the mental pressures of this level of competition take their toll as well. Lovely attempt to put away by Jaslyn Hui. And she manages to win a point on her own serve. As mentioned, Jaslyn part of a very strong Singapore women's team. Grace representing Nanyang Technological University. Jaslyn only in the middle of the court in these early stages. That was well directed by Grace Chua. Marathon point this, longest point and rally of the match so far. Who's going to blink first? It's going to be Grace, because Jaslyn Hui was presented with an easy opportunity for a put away there. change the shuttlecock again. She's got such power in those legs. Jaslyn Hoy really helps her get power behind those aggressive shots. Picked that one up well. Grace Stewart equal to it. She's the more nimble of the two around the court.
5-2.
Grace Stewart, but she's getting her line and length right early here, Jaslyn. Joyce Hong has been on Facebook congratulating Terry and Kian Hian.
Silver. 3-5.
Grace needed that point, otherwise this first half of game number 1 was in danger of getting away from her. Going back to that epic semi-final yesterday, Jaslyn took the first game 21-12. It was the second game where Insira Khan managed to get the better of her 21-19 before that epic third game. Jaslyn attempting to go deep, then cross court. Oh, lovely touch from Grace. Lovely touch from Grace. And Jaslyn, seen players doing the splits out on the court already this weekend. Jaslyn would have needed to do the splits herself if she wanted to get to that. Very high serve from Grace at 5-all. She's just won 3 points on the spin, 2 on her own serve. Can she bring up the hat trick? To edge her nose in front. That's wide. Great power from Jaslyn Hoy, and that is the shot that Grace has got to try and stop giving her. If she's got time to set in the middle of the court, far back, she's got the elevation to get a very tricky trajectory for Grace Chua to deal with. Oh, lovely, beautiful, drops in, and Jaslyn's just played 2 absolute world-class shots back-to-back to open up a 3-point lead again. Just moments after Grace had levelled it up at 5-all. That one just wide that time. I think she played for it as well, but Grace will be grateful. This is going to suit Grace. Whatever she does, she needs to make this first game go long. Not that it's a guaranteed pathway to success. For all we focused on Jaslyn's fitness problems yesterday, she still found a way to win. Maybe there was a bit of rope-a-dope going on, and she's mixed up power and finesse quite beautifully through the first 16 points of this game to edge in front. And again, a bit like Jason Tay, the leading light in the men's game, who was our newly crowned back-to-back male champion earlier. She's not shy in wanting the shuttlecock change either. Is Jaslyn Hoy. That's wide. Grace Chua needs to stay tough here. She could do with winning a couple of points before the 11-point interval. Big point this, I think, in the context of the first game, and it goes in. So that's the first misjudgment from Jaslyn Hoy. An important point for Grace to win. Now, can she rack up a couple on her own serve? Goes high. She's trying to tempt Jaslyn Hoy in there. And Jaslyn, with another pinpoint precision shot, takes an 11-8 lead at the turn. You're watching live coverage of the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021 on the Singapore Badminton Association's Facebook page, I Love Badminton, and One Play Sports as well.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. 11-8. Play.
Needs to put this away, Grace, and that might be telling. She had a couple of ample opportunities there to just readjust and give Justin a tougher shot to deal with. She couldn't do it. Justin Hoy just beginning to turn on the turbo, you feel now. Wouldn't surprise me if she went on to win the next 2 or 3 service points. Not like that, though, she won't. And she's furious with herself because that was an opportunity. And this is where sometimes her body language is interesting. She's, unlike so many of the badminton players we've seen today, she's not shy in expressing her emotions. She's certainly capable of changing on a sixpence. So my prediction of her racing away with this first game at 12-8 is out the window at 12-10. And again, she does seem to tire quickly. The sweat's pouring off her already through just 22 points of the match. Great shot from Grace there. Well, at 8-12, she looked in bother. She's won 3 points on the bounce. This to level it up. And we saw Jaslyn bounce back from losing a second game yesterday. It's a long while since he's seen what she's like under pressure at national championship level after losing the first game. What a deft touch that was, though.
13-11.
Last year, she took the first game of the final against Grace Chua 21-16 before romping away in the second 21-8. There were no fitness question marks over her there. Well left by Grace Chua.
12-13.
Grace is playing a clever game, though. She's dragging this first game out. Longer it goes, the better it should suit Grace, even though she's the one that's already played some badminton today. She'll be wary of how Insa Khan really pushed Jaslyn to the limit yesterday. Shot from Grace. Well picked up from Jaslyn. Slightly off-putting. I think one of the lights in the auditorium has just gone out. Don't think it's affecting the lighting on the court, though. And that one goes long as well. So all of a sudden, 14-13.
13-14.
Yes, we have just lost one of the panels of lightings in the OCBC arena, and I think the chair umpire is now pointing that out. There's an issue with the lighting, so could be in for a delay. I don't know whether someone's lent on the switch. They're all going out now. We could be in absolute darkness. Has anyone got an luminous shuttlecock? Well, I've seen the floodlights fail in football matches. I can't recall the last time I saw the floodlights fail on a badminton match, and there's going to be a delay here, and what a time for it to come as well. So do bear with us. As someone lent on the switch, I mean, that is concerning, the way they've gone out here. Now, I'm sure it's not as basic as sometimes you get at home when all the lights are installed at the same time and the bulbs will go at the same time, but this would be absolutely extraordinary. And one by one, the lights at the OCBC arena are going out. So bear with us while we attempt to get this resolved. Far from ideal for the players, of course. Remember, this is the women's singles final at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Championships. I'm going to go and do a bit of detective work and see whether this may be a lengthy delay. It does concern me that they've not come straight back on, because that would suggest it is a bulb issue, and they didn't go off at the same time either. They went off gradually. So that's a concern. And it's very harsh on the players. My thoughts go out to Justin and Grace, with Justin leading 14-13 in the first. So do bear with us. So the light's still not coming back on. Officials have been called to go and try and rectify the issue. And do bear with us. There's a delay for lighting failure here. We will attempt to get it resolved. Stay with us. Well, I've done some detective work. You are still watching live pictures here at the Singapore Sports Hub's OCBC Arena. Now, apparently the issue is not an uncommon one here, because the timing, the floodlighting structure in this magnificent complex is set by timings. And it's no coincidence that this failure happened at 5 o'clock. So the lights are obviously programmed to go out at 5. And apparently once they go off, they do take some time to warm back up again. So I would estimate that well over 50% of the lighting in this hall is now out. They are just asking the players if they're okay to continue in the current lighting situation. I mean, it's a far from ideal situation, you know, at the crucial point of the first game of a national championships for this to happen. But the players are going to have to deal with it. I think the tournament director is endeavouring to maybe get them to restart here. Rackets being picked back up, so it looks like we are going to get back down to action and maybe try and play out the remainder of this final in slightly darker lighting. As Justin has a look up to the gods to see if these lights are coming back on. We're going to continue here. At 14-13 to Justin Hugh, it's Grace Chua on serve. Of course, those high shots now, you could argue, might be slightly trickier. Oh, well disguised, that shot from Jaslyn. And of course, if there are any question marks over Justin's fitness, that break in proceedings won't have done her any harm. That 3 or 4 minute break, lovely shot from Grace Chua. That clearly is the shot she's going to try and employ. She has to avoid going high and giving Justin a chance to attack, but every time she can just hairpin it over the net and force Justin to stretch, that's where sometimes Justin Hoy, you can sometimes find a weakness. You certainly can't find a weakness there when you're trying to defend half court. And she plays a power stroke. 16-14. And again, You wouldn't want to play socially with Jaslyn Hoy, would you? She cost you a fortune in shuttlecock. She wants it changed after every point. I do hope this slightly darker setting is not impinging your enjoyment wherever you are watching. Wonderful put away again from Jaslyn. Well, it seems that she's come out the better of the two after that enforced lighting issue break. Remember, 30 months ago, 21-16 was the score in the first game that Jaslyn Hoy won on the way to a straights game victory. She won the second 21-8. And she looks like she's on the brink of closing out this first game here. She has been imperious
18-14.
Since that brief delay for the lighting issue. Doesn't appear that we're getting those lights back either, so let's just hope that the rest of the lights don't betray us.
Play.
That's what Grace has got to do. She's got to make Justin stretch near to the net. She can't go deep and miss either, which is what she's done there.
14.
Heads maybe starting to drop on Grace a little bit for all the focus on Jaslyn's fitness. Remember, Grace has already gone through the emotional and physical exertions of a final in the mixed doubles earlier on, some 3 odd hours ago. That one's dropped in. Jaslyn maybe looking up to the lights, thinking she wouldn't have made that mistake if the lighting was pristine. But the similarities to the scoreline from 13 months ago are now starting to get eerie. Remember, 21-16 the first game to Jaslyn Hoy then. And it's now 19-16, so
16-19.
Jaslyn needing to compose herself again. Grace goes high, maybe using that as a tactic, the slightly darker lighting, to go very high on that serve. She'll have a chance to put this away now. Good reactions from Jaslyn, once, twice, 3 times. Oh, wonderful defence from Jaslyn Hoy. Grace Chia still with a chance to put it away with the hand pin shot. Oh, Jaslyn's been on the back foot throughout this rally and still in with a chance of winning it. And win it she does.
Service over.
That was the rally of the match so far, and if she can win this point, it will be a mirror image of the scoreline from 13 months ago in the first game. And again, she's starting
Play.
to maybe look a little bit tired. Service fault called. It won't be 2016.
17-20.
She's not happy with that, Jaslyn Hoy. Is there a glimmer of hope for Grace Chua here? 3 points on the spin is a big ask. That's the task facing Grace Chua, to keep this opening game alive. Again, maybe utilising the darker lighting, going high with the serve. And Jaslyn, having missed 1 match point, is surely going to put it away on the second now. She's got Grace scrambling over the court, and away it goes. And she takes it out 21-17. As I'm delighted to say, we look to be restored to a full complement of lights. So both girls recovering from the issues with the lighting to complete that first game. And my word, it's now incredibly bright in here. But well done to the support staff for getting the lights back on. And well done to Jaslyn Hoy for winning that first game 21-17. Grace Chua now has to do what Insara Khan did yesterday in the semi-final, and that is take the second one out. Otherwise, we're going to crown our women's singles champion in a matter of 10 or so minutes. Well, both girls utilising the full 2 minutes allocated to them. Grace Chua trying to find a way to fight back into this final. She's played 3 games of badminton today now and lost all 3 in the mixed doubles with Andy Quack. She lost 21-15, 21-14 to Terry He and Elaine Chua, and now losing that game 21-17. So she's been competitive in all 3, but she needs to now try and take advantage of the fact that her singles semi-final yesterday was relatively comfortable against Megan Lee. So can she now try and send Jaslyn Hui around the court? These 2 girls who met 12 months ago. Well watched and well left by Grace Chua. That's what she needed, the perfect start to the second game. Exchanging hairpins here. And she's such an intimidating presence at the net, isn't she, Jaslyn? When you have those kind of duels, you almost need to try and win those points as Jaslyn is initially coming into the net. Once she's there and set, very difficult to get the better of her for finesse. You have to say it's Grace doing the more moving around the court. Jaslyn able to stay relatively central for now. Oh, wonderful shot from Jaslyn. So, cheap point for Grace to give away, and she's starting to find herself backed into a corner in the early parts of this second game. Remember, she faded away very badly 30 months ago in the second game to lose 21-8. She needs to get a foothold in this second match quickly. Jaslyn Hui is looking very, very comfortable. Her movement and footwork around the court are far better than they were in the latter stages of the game against Insara Khan yesterday. Great pick up from Grace. And what's the call here? Oh, it's gone the way of Grace.
2-3.
Grace needs to go on a charge now, and she's managed to level it up.
3-4.
And that looked unlikely. Well, this is some turnaround by Grace. Oh, where's Grace found this purse from? And Jaslyn Hui wanting to clear up some moisture with her own towel. Get the feeling this might not be the last delay we get over the remainder of this game. She just needs to stop the rot. She's lost 3 points on the spin. for the first time in this second game. And she's got Jaslyn moving again. It's crucial to her chances. She's got to work Jaslyn round the court. Nice mix-up of shots. And she's let that one drop long. Good judgment from Jaslyn to get back to within one. Jaslyn this time working Grace, who responds very ably, and her turn to watch one sail long. So she's just keeping her nose in front in this second game. And Jaslyn's breaths are starting to get quicker and heavier. And that's a misjudgment as well. So all of a sudden, it's not going according to plan. That's more like it. Laser-like down the line, a quick glance across to the line judge to make sure it was good, and it was. Now Grace needs to fend off the Jaslyn Hoy serve. Grace Chua reacting well there. Big point this, 8-6 and 7-all, and the context of the game could be huge, even though we're less than halfway through this second game. You fancy wonderful get from Grace on the stretch. Hairpins it, and she's forced the mistake out of Jaslyn. That's a huge point for Grace Chua to win. She'll now know if she can only avoid Jaslyn picking up consecutive service points, she'll be good to go. Oh, lovely stretch again from Grace Chua. She's really digging in here to try and take this to a decider. Oh, but that stretch was one stretch too many. Jaslyn pulled around, and I thought for a minute she might have turned the ankle there. I hope she hasn't, Grace. She's getting up rather gingerly. I think she's okay, but they'll come on and take the moisture off the court. But she is such a difficult opponent, Jaslyn Hoy. Just when you think you've got her on the run, turns it straight back round to you. Congratulations again to everyone at the Singapore Badminton Association who've done such a brilliant job of organising these championships this year. Of course, there was a slight delay contrasting to January's event last year, but all in all, I think we can all agree it's a welcome return to top-level badminton in the Lion City State after these troubled COVID-19 times and circuit breaker and what have you. We've already crowned 4 champions. We need to crown a 5th. Who will be the women's champion? Jaslyn Hoy at the moment has to be red-hot favourite, but Grace Chua still hanging on to this lead, and she'll extend it courtesy of a net cord. Jaslyn Hoy's turn to go sprawling on the deck. And it's a 9-7 lead. If she can win the next 2 points on serve and go to the turn 11-7 up, you have to say there's every chance of taking this to a third game. And Justin Hoy only got past Inshira Khan by the skin of her teeth. She saved 2 match points in a 24-22 win yesterday in the third in the semi. She's a master at finding ways to win games. And she's now wanting to have a conversation with the chair umpire, Jason Fu. I think about the state of the floor, which is obviously seeing moisture play more and more of a part. Grace Chua goes high again with the serve. Even now the lights are back on, she's going deep and long with that serve. And did she go under the net there, I think, with the foot maybe? There was a fault called, I believe. It's a 3-point lead for Grace Chua. There'll be no repeat of the 21-8 demolition job in the second game of the final last year. But she just can't open up that 4 or 5 point break that you think she'd need to be in absolute control of this second game. Big point on the horizon here, and she can't win it. Another perfect shot from Justin Hoy. Grace Chua, her turn to put one away, which crucially gives her the edge 11-9 into the turn in the second game. So having been on the back foot throughout at a 21-17 scoreline in the first game, she's got her nose in front here. But crucially, she needs to try and follow it through. So Jason Fu just telling the ladies there's 20 seconds to the resumption. Are we going to go the distance here? Coming up to 23 minutes past 5 local time in Singapore. I've got a sneaking suspicion we may be here past 6 o'clock because these two girls are serving up a classic. Grace Chua already lost in one final today. Justin Hoy, the defending champion, who obliterated Grace on this court 13 months ago. That dropped in. Looked for all the world it was going to go long, and I think Grace Chua thought so as well. Now the gap is 1. She can't afford to relinquish this lead. And that's exactly what she's done. We're now tied at 11 apiece. Contrast in the serving techniques that these two girls are employing. Justin tending to go short, Grace to go long, to presumably move Justin around the court even more. Oh, wonderful put away from Grace Chua. Vital she took that point. The last thing she would have wanted was to see Justin retake the lead in the game. Win or lose here, Grace Chua is doing the Young Technical College, Technology College proud here. She's hanging really tough in this second game, refusing to be overawed by the physical power and prowess of her opponent. And now she opens up a 2-point lead again, and I just get the feeling, as we saw yesterday in the game against Insura Khan, that Justin Hoy is just starting to maybe tire somewhat, but she's like a prize fighter that you can never seemingly knock out, just as Insura Khan found out yesterday. But Grace Chua has still got work to do to even get to that deciding game.
13.
It's a poor shot decision there that was well anticipated by Jaslyn Hoyt. Good get from Jaslyn. Grace sends it to the other side of the court. Oh, really well worked, but it's just amazing. Even when static, Jaslyn Hoy just seems to almost cover the whole court without even having to employ footwork a lot of the time. She's almost got arms like Inspector Gadget, able to reach out and seemingly grab something from any kind of angle. 13 all again. The last thing Grace Chua can afford to do is lose the next 2 points. Next one, just about acceptable. The next two, and it could be curtains, and that has dropped in. It's an error of judgment that's put Jaslyn in front for the first time since the early embers of this second game. She led 3-1 at the start of the second, but has trailed by as many as 3. Now she has the lead back. Grace Chua needs this point, quite frankly. She's getting some chances to win it, but she can't take them, and Jaslyn opens up by 2.
13. Play.
She's won 3 points on the spin, Jaslyn 2 on her own serve, and she's got Grace on the back foot here on her own service point as well. Grace really hanging tough, but she's got to try and find a way of putting Jaslyn under pressure. She's found a way there with a wonderful shot, and that's the first sign of frustration in about 5 points from Jaslyn. She can afford a smile. To the surprise of no one, she wants to change the shuttlecock again, but the lead is only 1. She shows much more emotion than Grace Chua, who tends to be relatively emotionless on court. So it's a fascinating contrast, both in physiques and styles and approaches here. But it's going to be more competitive than it was 30 months ago. That 21-8 scoreline in the second game was very comprehensive. Grace Chua needs a string of 2 or 3 consecutive service points, and she'll get a nice, cheap and easy one there. That was way long from Jaslyn, and we're tied again at 15 each. This game is almost following a similar pattern to yesterday's semi-final that Jaslyn played against Insa Khan. Insa Khan taking out the second game 21-19 there to take us to that epic third that Jaslyn won 24-22. She's gone high, giving Grace a chance. Grace tries to seize upon it and move Jaslyn again.
16.
And she's come up with a quite superb lob shot over Jaslyn, who could only watch in horror as it landed in, and she is having to work hard as well. Well, Grace Chua at 15-13 down. Maybe you were thinking of engraving Jaslyn Hoy's name on the trophy, but she's battled back to lead again 16-15. 3 points on the spin. Can she make it 4? No, she can't. Too good from Jaslyn there. And it's 16 each.
16 all.
And now you start to see Jaslyn taking an awful long time between points. Another new shuttlecock is requested and granted. Now biting stuff this here live at the OCBC Arena, the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships 2021 women's final. I thought at the start of the day it would be the most competitive game, and let's be honest, so it's proven. All the other matches have been won in straight games, and rather comprehensively won at that. Are we saving the best till last? Jaslyn now holding the back. I don't know whether she's got a slight twinge there. Grace continues emotionless, but continues to grind out points to just about keep her nose in front in the second game. Can she open up a 2-point break? She's going to get a chance to off this shot. And she puts it away perfectly. And that is the first time this week I've seen outright emotion from Grace Chua. She knows the importance of that point. And Justin Hoy didn't even bother to try and get there. She knew she laid it up for Grace Chua. And Grace put it away. And now, all of a sudden, it's the number 2 seed who's red hot favourite to take us the distance to a third game. Somehow Grace Chua managed to improvise with the racket there to get it across, and that's dropped good. And that was almost dropping in an identical position to the point that won of the match against Insara Khan yesterday. She still trails though, 17-18 in the second, leading by a game to love. She's 4 points away from the title, 3 points away from being forced to a decider for the second day in a row. Oh, wonderful again. That is one of the shots of the day. Cross-court smash from Grace Chua. Or Jaslyn Hugh, I should say, apologies. And Grace Chua just unable to pick up that point that would have seen her edge in front by 2 again. As it is now, it's 18 each. And the next 3 points are going to be absolutely crucial. Most important spell of the match, this for both ladies. Grace Chua moving Justin around well there. Good recovery from Justin Hugh. She's just waiting for her chance to attack. Grace Chua improvising well on the backward trajectory. It goes wide. And Jaslyn Hoy, for the first time in what feels like an age, is back in front in this second game. And now she's 2 points from back-to-back titles. Well, it looked for all the world for a minute we were going to a third game, but is it destined to be straight games once more? When Grace Chua put away that emphatic winner to go in front 18-17, it looked like we might be booked for a third game, but since then Jaslyn Hoy has pulled out 3 brilliant points on the spin. Big service point this for Grace Chua on the service return, which she manages well. She's just about got control of this rally for now. Brilliant get from Jaslyn. Wonderful reflexes from both ladies, but Jaslyn has already essentially done enough probably to win this point. Grace can't find a way past the brick wall that is Jaslyn Hoy. She's trying absolutely everything, mixing it up, short, long, deep, shallow. And finally, she forces the mistake to make it 19 apiece. And again, Jaslyn walks gingerly. If Grace can somehow find a way to take this to a decider, well, my oh my, that third game would be electric. Both girls giving it absolutely everything. By far and away the best match we've had. We've had some great individual performances. Jason Tay was sensational. Bernie Slim and Lim Min Kyu also excellent. But in terms of a matchup and psychological warfare, this has been the game of the day so far. But it may only, like the others last 2 games, because Jaslyn Hoy has championship point. Only one of them mined for now. And she needed a couple of game points to get past Insara Khan yesterday. Jaslyn Hoy to go back-to-back. Grace has to be so careful, and she's forced the mistake. Jaslyn looking at the racket, she can't believe it. It's 20 apiece. 1 championship point has come and gone. Grace Chua now needs to find a way to fashion a game point of her own. You can cut the atmosphere here at the OCBC Arena with a knife. Betty Chua is supporting what I can assume is a family member. She's watching in Sydney, Australia. Betty Chua watching Grace, willing her to take this to a deciding game. Is she going to get game point? She's not had one yet. Is she going to get one now, or it'll be a second match point for Jaslyn? She goes so high with that Grace, she's asking for trouble. And Jaslyn dispatches it brilliantly to bring up championship point number 2. Well, what is it about Jaslyn Hoy? Multiple times during matches, she looks on the rope, she looks down and out as she did yesterday. She just keeps finding ways to win matches. And she's 1 point away from finding a way to get past Grace Chua for the second consecutive year. It's wide, and it's the championship to Jaslyn Hoy. She needed 2 championship points, but she's taken it out, 21-17, 22-20. She goes back-to-back. Commiserations to Grace Chua, who played so brilliantly there, but has just been out-battled and outlasted by the number 1 seed and the best female player in Singapore. Poor old Grace, disappointed, but she's put up a great display this week, making 2 finals. And runner-up in the mixed doubles earlier with Andy Quek, and runner-up here as well. Congratulations to Jaslyn Hoy. We've still got the presentation ceremony to come. Mr. Gerald Heng, the CEO of the Singapore Badminton Association, will make the presentations to the 2 ladies very shortly before we sign off. Stay with us for the presentation ceremony conducted by Kang Yang shortly. So congratulations to all our winners on this final Sunday at the Singapore Sports Hub National Open Badminton Championships for 2021. Our mixed doubles champions, Terry He and Elaine Chua. Our women's doubles champions, Bernie Slim and Lim Ming Hui. Our men's single champion, Jason Tay. And our men's doubles champions, Terry He and Lee Kian Heen. And last but by no means least, back-to-back titles for the number 1 seed, Jaslyn Hoy, over a very spirited Grace Chua, who finishes runners-up in 2 finals today. Congratulations to the 5 champions, and we'll leave you with the pictures of the presentation ceremony to our ladies champion, Jaslyn Hoy, as Mr. Gerald Hong, the CEO of the Singapore Badminton Association, makes the final presentations.
For the women's singles category, Grace Chua Wellington. And for the champion, for the women's singles category, Jasmine Wu Yen Yen.
Yes, thank you, Kang Yang. Lovely words. Thanks to our sponsors, the Tote Board, Sports Singapore, Eagle Brand, Neo Garden, 100 Plus, Leaning, and of course the title sponsors of the Singapore Sports Hub. And congratulations to all at the Singapore Badminton Association for such a well-run event. We'll leave you with the pictures of Jaslyn Hoy winning her second straight Singapore National Badminton Open Championships title with a very gritty display against a spirited Grace Chua. From all the team here, stay safe, stay well, and congratulations to all our champions.